was going to say good morning, Freddie, but it's actually the afternoon now. Right, 1 p.m. local, 2 p.m. CET. You know, my throat's ready for this one, Freddie. It's going to be a banging BO3. Well, a few of them ahead of us, of course. This is the 2-2 stage of West Europe Series 2. Now, usually, Freddie, I ask people, you know, how's your day going? You know, what's going on? Like, how's life? I'm going to switch things up. What drink are you having today? What's the drink selection on broadcast?
What? So I've got my vanilla latte with me, my
Okay,
coffee. I
nice.
got that before broadcast, and then I've just got my pint of water.
A pint of
It's
water.
this is my yeah. So I have pints of water next to me when I cast, and then a coffee normally at the start of broadcast, and that kind of does me for the whole thing. What about you?
I'm on water and a certain energy drink, which I won't say because obviously, you
Ah,
know,
yes, yes, yes,
we
yes,
could
yes.
be running into walls there. But yes,
Yeah,
I am on a good energy drink. You know, if anyone
good
out there's
energy drink,
interested,
nice.
yeah, exactly.
I see.
Listen,
I feigned away from
go
the
on.
energy drinks and have more gone for the coffee. Like
All right, yeah, fair.
in my head, it gives a caffeine. I don't know if that makes any sense, but to me it does, and it tastes nicer, and it's more like it's less caffeine. The bubbles, the carbonated makes my throat sore.
Oh, okay, Freddie,
Yeah,
you child is what I'm hearing
I
here.
know. I am.
Okay, right. Let's talk Counter-Strike. Enough of our little chit chat. We can obviously talk about the games at hand. It's big stakes here in West Europe Series 2 because the three matchups, half of the teams that play today will not be going to that playoff stage. We can obviously have a look and see. This is what it looks like. Round 5. Yeah, 2-2, man. It's obviously HEET, MOUZ, NXT where we start things. AGO Nexus, and then obviously we sub out Freddie and I ball as Yano our last game of today. But again, it's go big or go home. It's these matchups where if you don't make the win happen today, you will not be seeing a playoff stage.
Yeah, very interesting as well. MOUZ NXT and Heat, they both went 0-2 at the start of this tournament. So
Yeah.
both of these teams have fought their way back, and unfortunately, we're not going to see we're going to see one of them, but we're not going to see both of them progress through. I think this is going to be a really interesting game. On the face of it, you have Heat who are trying to reclaim some of the glory they once had as an organization. You have MOUZ NXT who had the crown for the best academy team for basically since the dawn of time. However, is that the case anymore? Astrala's talent just out of nowhere came out of the cave and decided they're going to beat came out of the woodwork and just decided they're going to beat absolutely everyone. So MOUZ NXT, I feel like they're in a position now where they're trying to vie back for the best academy team, and in tournaments like this, it's already shown they're going to have to prove yourself.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to talk about MOUZ NXT, our first team on screen. And again, Freddie, this is not quite... Oh, okay, we're going to start with Heat.
Heat.
Okay, we'll switch things over. Okay, let's talk about Heat. This is a team, obviously, that have undergone a lot of change since the deep runs in Elisa and what have you, right? Sort of when they were in Tier 2. You can see that there's quite the unknown entity, obviously, in terms of, well, some are in New Jersey, some are in Old, like some are in the middle. Effectively, we've obviously got Macarin. He's an individual that joined over from Falcons. Jax is no longer playing. He's on the bench. You got Jocko, you got Exercise, you got Lucky. That core has been together for a year and a month now under the Heat banner. Obviously played beforehand on Double Pony. Obviously it's Maka and X-Real, if I'm not mistaken, the normal 5.
Yeah, I think it is X-Real, yeah.
But apparently Gringo's playing today. Don't know, how much we can read into that. But again, just the French side looking to try and qualify for playoffs as best as they can.
Yeah, Maka really impressed me the last time I saw him because I think when he got removed from Falcons for Kenny S, it seemed like a really unfair thing, right? You have Kenny S coming in. What can you really do about that? And I think a lot of people saw that Falcons replacement as a little bit unjust, but he wasn't the issue, but maybe marked as the issue because of him being replaced. However, he's been playing really, really well recently on this Heat roster and is looking to really bring these guys back into reality. Gringo, if he is playing, I've seen him play before standing in. Like he's a real stand-in merchant for a lot of these French teams, playing for like LDLC here and there. I actually saw him play on Royals. Mr. Ryan, he used to play for Royals at one stage, like 2020, 2019, way back when. But if it isn't going to be him, if it is X-Real, one of the, I guess, 2 Swiss pros, right? He's a Swiss pro and has been playing recently, but has been out of competitive play for a long, long time, been brought in. And I mean, I kind of rate it, right? If he's playing well, then let's have it.
Yes, obviously we're looking at MOUZ NXT. I was going to mention when they were first brought up, this is not the MOUZ NXT side that we remember going on the glory runs and, you know, being the all-time
Yeah.
best academy team when sort of academy teams were cool. It's nice to see that MOUZ Sports obviously keeping their junior roster. Obviously you got Yimfat, who is just an invaluable asset, I feel like, to this team. He's been an unreal player, but obviously I'm looking up and down the line a little bit. And well, we're looking at a team that isn't actually terrible, right? You obviously got Nexius in there, you know, QQ as well, the least performing individuals, but everyone here's got a 1.0 rating at least. Christian alongside Slend, also an individual, the Orpa, that has been doing really well. I don't quite know where I sit with them as MOUZ NXT side. I'm a little bit on the fence because as much as I want to say that this team's good, results have been very lackluster. And for a team that has the pieces that these guys do, I don't think we should be seeing them at a 2-2 stage of a Swiss stage.
Yeah, I think one thing. So I remember when I was talking with you and Dweg, I think on his stream, I was saying, you know what, I like MOUZ NXT, and I'll still back that. Yimfat and Slend are a unreal duo. Nexius kind of brings us that third man, but I think the one part where I struggle to love this team is the fact that Kristen and QQ, in my perspective, really fail to pick it up when necessary, and that's where I think the team does struggle with. Sometimes you have a very top centric and a very top heavy scoreline, and that can be the difference maker in the issue. However, if you look at that MOUZ NXT roster that, you know, like the one that everyone knows about, the one that are all playing at tier 1 now, they weren't necessarily playing in tournaments like this. They were struggling when they played in tournaments like this, actually, for that matter. When they played in the likes of the Pinnacle Cup, for instance, they would maybe scrape their way through main Swiss and then lose in the first round of playoffs. So realistically, we actually haven't got that different of a performance from that old roster. So like when people look at that old roster, you got to put in consideration is that they equally were struggling, and this team are probably doing around the same level and probably not doing as well yet, but are on the very same wavelength to do better.
Here's your Veto, Vertigo, Inferno, Ancient Freddy. Of course, we're trying to speed things up to get back into the game, so I'll quickly summarize the Veto. Obviously, HEET permaban Mirage and MOUZ NXT permaban Anubis, so we were never going to see those. The Vertigo pick is one that I think very much favors the MOUZ NXT side. Listen, they played it 31 times in the last 3 months, right?
Jesus.
And they've won 23 of them. Their Vertigo is unreal. It's on rails for them right now. Obviously, our second selection, Inferno, picked by the HEET boys. Again, they played it 18 times. They've won the majority of them. Like, it's looking pretty solid for them, right? I don't think there's any arguing that. Of their last 6 games, they've won 5 of them. The only time they've lost is to Into the Breach, and that was as of yesterday. So,
that was in the Boom Bet series, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bet Boom, Playlist, Urbanistics. So yeah. Obviously our decider as well of Ancient, if we need it, quite an even split. MOUZ NXT statistically better, but he have been playing the slightly better opponents, I would argue. So definitely can throw that one into the mixer. You know, your likes of K23, Bad News Eagles twice, Apex, Sangal, Gamer Legion, Saw, ITB, Viperio. You know, there's a lot of decent teams. Obviously, I'm mentioning the UK boys having qualified for the RMR. One thing that MOUZ NXT can't, and if I'm not mistaken, one thing that he didn't manage to do this time out. So, yeah,
no?
it's gonna
they got
to
the closed qualifier, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
I think they did, and they even had like a second chance, a last chance qualifier, still lost versus Source. So it was really unfortunate for them. And I think that for this roster, it was, I mean, you got to put in the consideration of like they were just having so many roster changes and so many inconsistencies around this period. Maka only came in at the start of the year, if I'm not mistaken, or even like in towards February. So the fact they made it that far, I think, is quite impressive. But yeah, no, they definitely should have been making it through the RMR. I think as the individuals they have, as I was saying, that like this team's going back to glory. That like that's kind of their main aim, and a big part of that is that they used to play at all these high levels. They used to make really deep runs in the likes of CCT. They used to play really well in like, you know, they won the Eliza Invitational, for instance. They were playing at LANs. They were doing really impressively, and now it feels like they're having to reset a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Obviously, Freddie, having sort of encapsulated all of this information that we shared with the audience, I got to ask, prediction-wise, where you're going with this one. Are you on the side of MOUZ NXT? Are you on the side of HEET? Like, where do you sit? Because right now, I think, you know, across the board, this matchup is going to look very, very even.
Oh, I completely. This is going to be a really dead even game. I think I don't think any map's going to be a whitewash. I think it's going to go to a third. MOUZ NXT going to take theirs. Inferno is going to go the way of HEET. And then I think for Ancient, I genuinely think MOUZ NXT are going to pick up Ancient. And I think it's going to be a 2-1. Actually, it's a definitive third map. It's 100% going to go to third map. And then I think you can comment on like who's going to win it there. But I think it will be MOUZ NXT. What about you?
All right, I'm going to go MOUZ NXT 2-0, mate. I'm going to throw a spanner in the works. I'm going to say something outrageous happens. Listen, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Ladies and gents, we'll head into it. It is map 1 of Vertigo, the 51 floors for MOUZ NXT and HEET to see who will qualify and who will fail to make the playoff stage here of West Europe Series 2. Let's jump straight into it.
Let's get it. The odds are actually very even across the board here, Ryan, and I wouldn't anticipate that. I would have thought, in the terms of odds, you would put HEET in the advantage, but no. MOUZ NXT, they've got a literal dead even 1.83 to 1.83. However, the pistol round's coming off with a bang. MOUZ NXT going up towards the A-bomb site, a collective. Yimfa is far behind, but he will join them in. But HEET, look at this. 4 players here on the rotation. A double nade onto Joker will bring him down. Lucky's being tagged as well, but that's the last of their utility. And the frags, they need to come in for the T side, but they're not. They're going the way of HEET. And it seems like they are going to hold off on this bomb site unless Yimfa has something to say about it. The young Finn is just so talented, but no, not today.
Maka finding a double there is sensational. 2 headshots towards ramp, and obviously the gap control denied meant that really, they only have one direction, one choice in this round, and that is just to attack the A site. It's difficult to obviously to take on, especially when, you know, the smokes are starting to fade and people are hitting shots and there's people pushing through smokes. It's very difficult to watch, but obviously HEET taking that one. Now we're going to see if that will continue at all. Second round in just a moment's time. Should be gone, done and dusted. You know, MOUZ NXT having lost the first, just have to play with the pistols, full Glocks as well. By the looks of things, no one's gone for an upgrade, so it is actually just straight eco, hoping to bring out the optimal buy into round 3.
Well, guess what? We weren't right about who's playing. It wasn't Gringo. It wasn't the Swiss. It was actually Hippo. Yep. He's actually. He is hungry, and honestly, I've seen him do some really, like, the first time I casted them was like was when they played against Yano, and he went 23 to 13 on Inferno. So if he can do that again, they actually lost the series after they won their map 1. So if they can do that again, and if they can beat MOUZ NXT with the likes of Hippo popping off, who very similar to X-Real has actually been a little bit. He hasn't been playing as much officials recently, but I've seen he mechanically still has it. Can his consistency hold up? And that's kind of my main the thing I'll be looking at. And he might actually get tested here a little bit because Exercise has let QQ actually get past him at first. These rifles, they should just dispatch with the pistols, the non-armored pistols for that matter, quite easily.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Hippo isn't the man to take the fights there. Like, he isn't the aggressor with the SMG, knowing that they're on Glocks after the information picked up from Lucky. I'd have thought, you know, run the MP9 in, try and rake in the cash. But obviously, he just wants security in a second round. They don't want to try and fumble it in any way by, you know, changing the order in which way people take contact. Clock stuck at 0 seconds tells me there's going to be a bit of a tech pause before we head into round 3. But obviously, a very important round. Everyone wants to be on the same straight. So, yeah, someone's clearly got ping issues, something like that. Get it out of the way. Ready and raring to go, Freddy. Round 3. 4 AKs in the Galil for the MOUZ NXT side. Nice to see. Obviously, Christian opting to play for utility. Oh, it says live in the middle. Do you see that there?
Yeah, so I've been seeing that recently, and I really like it. I don't know why, but it makes me feel happy inside.
Yeah? What, when it tells you the game's live? It reminds me of like the ESEA days, you know, where it's like matches live in green.
Yeah. Oh, I miss like caster like grinding. Well, actually, no, I don't. But
I definitely don't.
Actually, yeah, never mind. I don't know why I said that. Back in the old ESEA days, every caster kind of made his start there one way or another, or her start.
True.
Yeah, and now, and players as well for that matter, everyone kind of started off playing in those open. What a shot. Unfortunate there for Lucky. Sled just spamming the smoke. and he finds the frag. That's a different short smoke, if I'm not mistaken. It's a little bit more towards the CT, so they can play behind it. Isn't it normally a little bit deeper? It's only at the very bottom.
I throw that smoke and it gives me a one-way over the top. Like I know that's like typically what people do. If it lands like just underneath the sandbag, you can see obviously where Lucky's dead. Like he's trying to aggress the smoke. Yeah, but clearly just getting caught out completely. I'm liking this though. Proactiveness from HEET. You lose the early A pick. Start to get a little more aggressive towards B. Exercise with a lot of information. Will be spoon feeding that to his teammates. Guys, I push all the way through to T-Con. Nobody is here. They are 100% stacking towards A. You just stack the site, you take the gamble, try and earn the advantages back. And Jocko does exactly that. Nexius getting caught out, do believe, on a little bit of a spam.
I'm just looking right now at Exercise. You've already highlighted him. He just can't aggress. Really hard when you're in that position. It's like, don't actually push. He probably can now as the fights are happening. So as his team are taking contact and as they actually are winning the duels by the skin of their teeth, may I add, the HP is so low, Exercise will show his dirty... Sorry, that's not the phrase. I've completely forgotten the phrase, but Exercise won't actually win the 1 versus 3 because QQ's going to clutch it up. MOUZ NXT, how they let that one... How they won that one? HEET, they had all the pieces of the puzzle. They actually missed the opening frags. It's Exercise who comes in and saves them. And then they still lose it out.
A brilliant round from MOUZ NXT, though. The fact that they were obviously responding kind, understanding that the flank's very possible. The dismiss of those rifles. You can see HEET, having won the previous 2 rounds, you'd have thought maybe the money would have been good. Good enough. Oh, what just happened there? Did you see that? That was like
it was a instantaneous like technical pause, or is it? Wait.
No, it took a tactical because the HEET name went blue, right? Like the lettering went blue and like whatever. And then immediately afterwards, the pause is cancelled, and then the clock is stuck at 20. So I don't know what's going on right now. It's a tactical pause. It's just I don't know. I guess. Oh, I think it's just it was a tactical, but the clock just gets stuck at 20 seconds. No worries. Okay. Well, at least we have that knowledge now that if that happens again, all right, Freddy, we know what's going on.
Easy. Let's go. Okay, so that last round for HEET, they lose it after winning 2 in a row, and because it's the city side, obviously you have really bad economy at every single instance. So they're actually not going to be buying into this. They're not going to have that much loss bonus next round. I think they're only going to have 1900, but they're still going to... They're not buying that much. So it means they will still get a buyout. The size can drop over and up for Maka. It's not an awful position for HEET to be in. MOUZ NXT, just for them right now, the objective is keep as many players alive. I think from my perspective, you want to be keeping 4 players alive. You really, like, the best case scenario right now is that the MAC 10 gets 3 kills or something like that, and then dies, and then everyone else cleans up. The MAC 10 gets the 1800 the 1800 bonus it would be from getting those 3 kills. He can then buy up a rifle, and then you come into round number 5 fully fledged.
Yeah, absolutely. You can already see MOUZ NXT is trying to edge out the control a little bit more towards ramp, being a little more dominant, understanding, right, the money for the HEET side. If they go for the full buy, it's still going to be a ropey investment. Molotov landing slightly right at the sandbags. I do believe it still pickles everyone that sits behind it. Nades the double stack. Oh, brilliantly done. Do they throw a couple in kind? Yeah, they do. Christian, eye for an eye, my friend. 2 nades for 2. Slightly more damage done to the CT side, but again, MOUZ NXT here on the rifle, so any advantage is good. A 3rd nade goes in, and unfortunately for Lucky, just catching all sorts of flack with these HEs. 25 seconds left, so they have got quite limited time. Bomb plant needs to occur quite quickly. You are right. The nade subs are there. There goes them both. And in fact, and he does go down, but unfortunately, after the buzzer, it's going to be a 5 versus 4 post plant, but it is very, very manageable now for HEET to start to get the ball rolling.
Oh, 100%, especially with the 2 upgraded pistols on Lucky and Joko, but Lucky is on 4 HP, no kit as well, no utility, and these rifles just gotta make sure they work in tandem. So far they will, so far Nexus will get the first, the tap of the bomb once again, they've forced them out, oh my god, in a flurry! Every single kill goes in the way of the CT side. They have to get on the bomb, and as Slen denies it there, the round will be over, but my god, was that expensive. They keep 2 players alive. No, I think Lucky might die. No, Lucky survives. Okay, 2 AKs going into the next round for HEET. MOUZ NXT, it's going to have to be a full reinvestment. How, literally, in a matter of 2 seconds, 3 kills just went in favor of HEET. I don't know how MOUZ NXT allowed themselves to be given up like that, but a really good round for the French all in all.
Two to two. Feels a little bit disappointing for HEET not being able to convert that round, but as you say, and as you state quite nicely, MOUZ NXT lose everything they'd once earned. Christian going to start things off well. I'm liking this one-way smoke, by the way. It's a little bit different. It's so if the CTs want to peek ramp,
so
overpowered. Very difficult. Yeah, you want to keep an eye on this one. It's a very good smoke. So all you MM or Face It gamers out there, get taking notes. Mr. Nexius showing you how it's done. Doesn't really matter what he's doing though, because Christian with a Galil has found a double entry, both kills towards B. It's pulled a third player over, as they're just going to attack A. Third kill comes in, Slen picks it up, and all of a sudden, this full buy for HEET turned into a shambolic one at an instant.
The AWPer all alone. The lonely walk over towards middle to try and save. I think he should be able to save. I'm not sure if QQ has a timing on middle. Oh, he might actually. No, never mind. Okay, so he probably is going to save the big green. Be nice to bring that into the next, but I'm so confused how HEET went from having a really nice round last round, then literally just being trampled upon. But I guess that's the cold, hard mistress of CS:GO, right? You do so well on a full eco, and you're like, oh, we'll get the guns out and we'll do it even better. You won't.
Clearly a confident MOUZ NXT team today. Starting to struggle a little bit, by the looks of things. Obviously, as you say, with the full buy going bust, I think for them it's probably just time to rethink, trying to understand where they're going wrong. Important rounds to start your CT side off and get a few under your belt. Yeah, cool, nice. Let's, you know, let's be happy with that. Obviously, for the opposite though, where you're kind of behind, you're playing pistol buy, sort of that flip-flap effect that we see so often. Yeah, it's a bit difficult, and understandably so for HEET. They have to take an eco here, full buy in the next. Should be a 4th on the board for MOUZ NXT. And Freddie, I'm under the assumption this map's quite even, but you certainly don't want to be giving a T side an early lead like this, because as quick as, you know, HEET can try and get a couple of rounds back, this whole half could spiral out of control.
I think for me, very even, however, slightly CT-sided. I think the CT sides should be winning out the halves. However, you see, it's definitely a map where anomalies occur quite consistently. And you have maybe like 55 to 57% of the time, the CT sides should be winning out the half. And then there is still a lot of times when the T side can be winning. I think it's very even, however, a slight lenience to the C side. However, if you are winning any half very dominantly, that's normally quite a good sign for success.
Not like that. Tell you, the last time I've won a side dominantly in Counter-Strike, Freddy, it feels like I'm always on the receiving end of pain and suffering.
Yeah, same.
Odds over at 1x bet. I'll tell you what, right? Considering how even this game was to begin with, in the first 6 rounds, MOUZ NXT are now like quite open favourites over at 1x bet. Of course, maybe if you're a believer, it shows up on the right-hand side of your screen. Look at that timing. If you want to go and check them out, you can obviously head over to 1x bet, use our fiery code, and you can go and grab it there, of course. Good game, well paid. Of course, you have to be 18 plus, gamble responsibly. CCT 1x, as you can see, is the code. And our partners over at 1xbet giving you all the awesome goodies. A good start for Maka in this round though, Freddy. Plucking one out through the wall with the AWP. Nice little headshot. Christian will turn things even, as Lucky thinks about getting aggressive through the one-way smoke, but instead forfeits that man advantage.
Nexius almost can get one back onto Maka, however the AWPer does just retreat back. The whole round is centered around the buying up of this, the buying up around this AWP. And look at this rotations. Is there a flank? Yes, there is. Hippo and Joko pushing down ladder. This round hinges on them. I love it. It all hinges on them. The only issue is that Yimfat's holding for them, and that's the one player I would not want holding for me. As I say that, he does maneuver away. No one's currently holding for them. This could be their opening. Oh, Hippo whiffs the mark. They've both been spotted out. Macca's fallen, and now it's all exercise on the rotation. Heat, they had something that looked so promising, but my god, it literally couldn't have gone any worse.
That's a horrible sight to be seeing. Run, 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 my friend, exercise. I don't think Yimfat will let him get away. Yeah, absolutely. Orp's gonna... Oh, I was gonna say get cut out.
Pardon?
He hits the shot, unfortunately. It's all in vain as Krisha will take him down, but I don't think they have time to save the Orp. They don't even want it. No, sir. You can keep it. I don't care. 5-2. MOUZ NXT. What a blistering start. And again, just talk about the quantity of players surviving in that round, Freddie. That's a round that should be quite tight-knit, quite even. He should be able to trade back, and they even found the man advantage. And it's all for naught. What, 3 players survive? 4 players survive for MOUZ NXT?
I think it was 3 in the end because of that last kill.
Oh, yeah, because of the AWP kill. Right, yeah, it will be 3. Still, though, that's a massive amount of money going in their back pockets, while Heat now suffer again and have to take another eco.
I honestly just don't understand how it went that badly. Like, how does... It's the classic when you're coming on the flank and you see someone just turning around the corner and your brain instantly goes, oh, shoot them. And then realistically, actually, it was you shouldn't be shooting them, and he gets a weird timing, and very unfortunately, it's very unfortunate for Heat. However, MOUZ NXT, this is a really good start on their map pick. Vertigo is just such a good map for them. It's just like both of these teams have a big staple of Vertigo or Inferno, and it's so prevalent. They always tend to take up their map picks. And that's why I normally, when I'm watching these two teams, is like I'm saying a third is very, very possible on the basis of both these teams will probably end up taking their map picks just because they're so damn good on those 2 maps.
Hippo finding the opening kill, Mr. Slend. The opening frag and, well, trade, I guess. Christian does avenge his friend after Hippo's Deagle finding the mark. 4 versus 4. Very slow. Yet again, Freddie, I'm liking this interchangeability. Like, everyone seems to pump the brakes a lot here on this T side. Everyone's like tiptoeing for control rather than doing anything fast and rapid. He kind of left guessing a little bit.
But it seems like the A-bomb site will be the final destination for MOUZ NXT. Good nades from both Hippo and Lucky, taking a lot of damage down. Oh no, crumbling at the seams right now. Prison and Nexius in a 2 versus 4. The flank is coming in. However, that is one for them. That is exactly what they need to start getting going. They need to identify this flank. Lucky's doing so well at staying alive and doing damage, and then allowing Maka to come through on the flank. That's a huge round from Lucky, huge round from Hippo, and then Maka on that flank, superb. Are they just better when they're on the low buy? Do they just get more coordination, more confidence when they're on that low buy, and it just allows them to prevail?
I think they're playing like they have nothing to lose in these rounds, and that's what's winning them it, right? It's like, I think on the CT side, trying to be too systematic, trying to be a little too funky with it. I don't know, Freddie. I don't know how sort of mentally that works out and how that checks out, but it does. See, heading into round 9, Heat are only down by a couple. Money for the T side, not looking amazing, but it's still very much manageable. Ollie goes in towards top ramp. Lucky again, trying his best to hold them back early doors. This is something that obviously does get a little bit more interesting as time goes on, because Heat have to respect the fact that ramp's given up, and so left guessing a little bit more. Obviously, in rounds like this, we saw exercise previously get aggressive towards B. But the double stack, usually when you play 2B, you play it to take it, Freddie. And in fact, both players just chilling on site right now, and they've left mid open. So very defensive across the board here for Heat, and still taking gambles.
I can understand where the gamble's coming from, right? Because we've played 8 rounds of Counter-Strike, and I'm pretty sure we've gone A every single time, including the pistol round. So for MOUZ NXT, I do want to see a little bit more depth coming through from them, because just rounds like that's going to happen where Maka just walks in, and Well, I got my wish pretty early, didn't I, Ryan? 50 seconds, and they're already going towards the B bomb site. A heavy stack towards A. Even though Maka got the opening frag towards short, he won't hold on to that aggression, won't hold on to that space, and it is going to be a pop onto the B bomb site. Slim. The first entry goes in his favor. QQ with a second. Very nicely done indeed. They crack open the site. Even though 2 players directly there on the B bomb site is pretty good as far as Vertigo goes, but it does not matter. MOUZ NXT tear through, rock some heads, and they'll find a 6th.
Can't argue with that, can you? Just a brilliant, well-timed, well-coordinated B exec. Kind of all just walk into it, and there you go. Really nicely done. Picking up all of the frags effectively, you know, the only players left with the rotates. Yeah, there we have it. Done, dusted, over. It is 6-3. Heat looking pretty dull right now. I think the idea of the stack was good, but yeah, you are right. They moved on to obviously onto the gun buy and moved on to the A stack. Unfortunately, they go the other way and head towards B. So yeah, just unfortunate, I guess.
Still going to have the investment. They saved 2 players, if I'm not mistaken. And Mac is going to have his AWP out. Honestly, this is why I really like watching Slen play. It's because he's a very... He likes to play the rifle on these type of scenarios. And I think that's really... It reminds me of the likes of Headtrick, of Regali. And it's... Oh, never mind. I was going to say it's really valuable to have a AWP being able to rifle. But this round, it's just all going against MOUZ NXT. In literally the blink of an eye, so many frags fall in their favor. It's just a 2 versus 4. Chrism, Yimfa. Chris is having a great game. I was kind of maybe talking down upon him at the start, but he's having a fantastic performance. He's got the bomb in his back going towards the A bomb site, whereas his teammate's over towards still.
Very silent, 2v4, still a lot of work to be done from this position. Fortunately, it's just been the story of what are their lives? Win one, then lose one. They're going in behind the smoke as well, just delaying, just hindering even more. I don't know, difficult one to be winning here from MOUZ NXT. I mean, Christian does have a flash, try and get Yimfat in, maybe. There you go, the flash, pretty good, but unfortunately takes a little too long in recognizing there's a player up close, and more Christian does find one. Jocko finds the exiting frag of the round and answers our questions if he can do it. On the full buy, looking good.
Hippo just blended in with the wall there. Like, I actually couldn't see Hippo even on Yimfat's screen. But no, okay, it's just keeping quite close. It was 5-2, 6-3. Heat are still keeping MOUZ NXT within reaching distance. That was a really nicely played round. They just won all the individual battles towards the A bomb site, and then were able to still hold off in that late round. Maka on this AWP has been getting very consistent frags, so he has been theoretically winning out the AWP duel on Slen, but Slen does have the AWP out now, and he's gone towards the A bomb site. So with Maka being forced off by this Molotov early on, Slen might have an opportunity to try reveal himself.
What a great shot from Yimfat to open things up. Really nicely done, 5 versus 4. Nexius finding the second as well, 5 versus 3. Numbers just continue to get better. Freddie, what a back and forth game this is. Like, the CS here has been so on and off for both teams. I mean, if this keeps going the way it does, obviously MOUZ NXT are going to win this first half out, but on their pick, they should not be allowing Heat to sort of get these rounds in and then all of a sudden just take it all back. I don't know what's going on. It's I don't know, a bit of a quirky game. I couldn't say the last time it's been so back and forth.
You're a quirky boy.
Well, am I? I thought I'm quite like a vanilla dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not like too funny on a broadcast. I just, if there's a tech pause, I'll talk about life. If there isn't, I'll talk about the game.
I don't know. I feel like for all of us, like kind of within this, like if you're a commentator, like you have to have a little bit of like, flair to you in some manner.
You think I have flair, Freddy? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, no, I back that. I always enjoy spending time with you and
Oh,
casting with you.
oh, how sweet is that? Thank you, Freddy. I love you, man.
We always get the most adorable pictures as well. I love it.
Yeah.
But what is quite adorable? Like, okay, so I will say right now, and I will stick to my guns. If you were saying, and we had like the split decision on Ancient as well. You were saying like, oh look, I think it's a T side, and I was like, okay, I can see what you mean, but I think I'm gonna like not as extreme as you. I think I'm gonna still back the CT side. I'm still gonna say that here. We're in a CT side meta.
Yeah.
Like, undoubtedly, Vertigo, I think, has been one of those maps where, in the history, it has really gone. Like at one stage, I remember it being really T-sided, then it was really CT-sided, and now we've kind of come back to a middle point here. And I think that's, but I still will back like a 9-6 half for a CT side isn't unreasonable. So from my perspective, a 7-4 T advantage, I think is really good, and a big part of that is just MOUZ and NXT are a really good Vertigo team.
It is true. We were talking about sort of their consistent results. I mean, look at like as of recent how well things have been going for them on this map specifically, right? I was talking percentages. They've played it what I think over 30 times. I said 31 in the pre-game, won like 75% of them.
31 times in the last 3 months.
Yeah, that's insane. And obviously, clearly, they've been consistently good at this map. And look at this positioning. How would they let the Dane walk by? Jocko. Oh, there's a guy in front of me, guys. How's that happened? Why is there a guy in elevator? Second man up next is Lucky on the site. He'll take him down. But again, this has caused so much hassle for the defense. They've kind of pulled all the strings over back towards A. Yimfat sort of sitting in the middle. He's chilling. He's waiting for his chance. And now everyone's going to focus his attention to him. In the meantime, the bomb has actually moved. Yimfat finally taken out of the round. I would have liked to have seen a B play off the back of this, and we are seeing it. QQ, he's going to start to move forward in time. Oh my word, just about. And the AWP will catch him in motion. It's just Slend left. 1 versus 2. Even if he gets a kill here, he's going to have to go back to get the bomb. So it's not the prettiest of starts.
I am so confused how MOUZ and NXT are in a 1 versus 2 right now.
Yeah,
it felt like everything was aligned for them, but it felt like the play was made and it was very disjointed with the other members. Oh my god, what a shot from Maka! Sorry, pardon? Like, I know that was an easy shot in the terms of he came around the corner and the person wasn't looking in, but my god, was that clean. However, MOUZ and NXT, it's obvious they set up that round because they've conditioned to not go middle. They've conditioned to very focus towards the A bomb site, and you've already pointed out, Ryan, in a few rounds that look, they're anchoring down the bomb sites, and that's because of the lack of contact towards middle. Now already you can see instant, like Hippo and Maka are going towards middle. They're scared of it right away. But last round, why wasn't there more of a setup for when that happens, when the kill comes through, when Joko dies? Why aren't there more people coming out of ramp? Why aren't there people lined up to go towards B for that matter? Why aren't there just anything happening?
It does feel very stagnant, this HEET CT side. I will agree to that a little bit. I think certainly aren't playing a bad game of Counter-Strike with it though. Like, as much as we obviously say these things, sometimes it's just better to play retake mid, give it up, play for the control elsewhere. You know, like I don't hate it. Already starting to a little more control here. Nice molly exercise. Try and block off any of the D pushers. Well, get ready, fella. There's a little more coming your way. It's a nice bit of a tag up. First frag is his, but the trade is just as good, if not better. 4 versus 4. Bomb plant could be happening, and I think it will be. Maka going for no scopes through smokes. I respect it, but peaked a little too much. And Slend will punish him. Nexius the second. All of a sudden, it's not looking too great here, is it? CT side find themselves down to just the 1, and Yimfat, all the information picked up upon. AWP will close the show.
such a back and forth game, Ryan, isn't it? I think the reason why Heat are just falling behind a little bit is because they had those first few rounds where MOUZ and NXT, like, they won the pistol round, they won the first gun round, so they kind of got that 5-1 lead, basically. And I think that's the issue there, is when they started being very contestable and very back and forth a little bit too late. So MOUZ and NXT have maintained the lead here. And there's actually a chance MOUZ and NXT might get 10-5, which really doesn't paint a picture of how this game's actually being played. That's a thing. I think that's such an unfair scoreline for Heat to have, only getting 5 rounds on the CT side after making it so close. And that's just the CT side economy. They lose one if it finally breaks, basically.
I think I find it interesting, right, that, as you say, it has been so close in some of these rounds. Like, how many times have Heat been, like, a round away from resetting the tier economy? You know, how many times have we seen them, like, oh, had we have won this round, like, we would have put their money to 0, or, you know, they would have had to have taken pistols, or, I don't know. It is an unfortunate first half, but that's the way it goes sometimes in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Unfortunately for the CTs, they're going to be second best in this round as well, taking the eco ready for the last of the half. And subsequently, they are finding themselves with only 2 players to spare. And the pocket change for MOUZ and NXT good enough for both, so they might even elect to just go hunting in this round to make sure there will be no saves.
Doesn't really... I think, actually, yeah, a saved weapon would be quite nice for Heat here. Seeing if they're going to get given it towards the middle. They've got a nice little setup. But no, MOUZ NXT completely going the other way. 9-5. We were saying it's 50-50, but we're not going to have that 50-50-ness. I was saying it's a CT side, and we're not going to have a CT side. So I guess we were both, in a sense, wrong. But it has been so close. It's been such a close game. And Ryan, if you told me at the start of this year that MOUZ NXT would be beating Heat, I just wouldn't believe you.
It's true, because obviously, like, for MOUZ NXT as well, they've been through a plethora of, like, different trials with AWPers. Obviously, they had MHL on their team, and then obviously they find Slend, but again, it's kind of like, is this guy a good fit? Obviously,
Turns out he has been.
Wasn't Fessa playing on this team at one point, or am I going insane?
I think he was a Stralis talent.
Yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah,
and then Monte, and then now Endpoint.
Yeah, you're right. I think either way, right? Like, there's been plenty of, like, young guns, like, plenty of up-and-comers. Oh, my word.
Hello.
Okay, Nexius does find it. That have been trialed. Slend, obviously, now being the right fit, seems to be working quite nicely. A really nice start from Nexius there, though. Obviously, drumming up a lot of pace through the molly. And I think it was Maka that had to fall back. The Flames started to tickle him a little too much for his liking. And walks into the AK. So, yeah, it is a 5 versus 4. Heat find themselves disadvantaged early doors. Not a pretty picture to be painting.
Especially when it's Maka, the AWPer, who's currently the top of the scoreboard for your team and has been really good at just consistently getting 1 or 2 kills in the crunch rounds when you're on the AWP.
Yeah.
Lack of utility as well. That's the last grenade being thrown out. You've got 1 kit on Lucky, double flash and smoke. You can't really be afforded going for retakes, and that's why we are seeing a bit of a gamble stack from Heat over towards a certain bomb site. And honestly, if I actually gambled correctly, 3 players basically on this B bomb site, 35 seconds, the XU comes in, QQ leading the charge, flashed in alongside Yimfa, and they will eliminate the first defender. However, there are 2 more, and now 3 more in conjunction. Hippo, the stand-in. I was saying I've seen him do some mechanically very impressive feats before, and he's going to show us once again. However, the round is not over. 15 seconds, but it might just be now. Hippo on for the ace, doubling his kills in this round, and whoa, yes he does. By the skin of his teeth, he finds it at the end, saving Heat in round number 15. And my god, that's definitely solidifying his place in this roster. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to a small break, so do not go too far, and let's see if MOUZ NXT can continue their domination in the second half.
first half, one word to describe it, quirky. Both teams having their ups and downs. Of course, we switch sides as the remaining of the game shall be played out here on the T side for Heat, and it's a good start for them as Jocko minimizes the gap threat. It is a very fast, pacey kill onto Christian. Will end the numbers 4 versus 5. Nade lined up for Nexius, wanting to deny the plant, and well, catches one of his own. Hopefully he'll care too much, because as you can see, the spam is there. MOUZ NXT waiting for their chance to strike again. Jocko dropping off the nade, brilliant damage, but no kill.
Literally an identical pistol round from both sides.
Yeah.
It was the T side who won it out on the first instance, but a big part of that was early damage, and I don't think Heat necessarily have that as much. A hit on Nexius, 13 HP, he is going to stick the bomb, and the defenders are not going to be able to hold off MOUZ NXT. That's a pretty good, sorry, Heat, that's a pretty good the first round, the second half, and especially after winning round number 15 and not allowing double digits just yet, they could incline their way forward a little bit.
Definitely possible. Definitely possible. Second round follow-up should be looking pretty good as well. It's a force buy here. The CT side. Don't know how much I'm a fan of that one, Freddy. Obviously, when I think it was MOUZ NXT took the first pistol, they just full ecoed and went on to the next round trying to go in with rifles. So I don't quite know the logic behind it, but obviously a solution to all this mayhem should just be a follow-up round here. CT side finding themselves an early man advantage though. Nice shot from QQ. I say should. It's Counter-Strike, and well, I was gonna say Nexius could have been in for exercise, but instead no, the other way around. Mac-10 starting to gut out the gap hold, and I think the rest just falls into place here. CT side find themselves down to 2. Yimfat and QQ, what have you got for us?
Oh, I mean, they're gonna have to really pull something out of the hat right now. I mean, the Deagle literally has 3 players in front of him that are one hit. I think Lucky, I'm not sure if he survives after 1 hit on 37 HP. The range will come into consideration, but all that hypothesis and theorizing will not actually come into fruition because they are just saving. Very boring, but it's fair enough because you're probably not going to win that retake, and you've got to realistically take a look at yourself and go, okay, we've got these 2 Deagles in armor, we can bring them over into the next round, and we're still going to be able to pack a punch where MOUZ NXT would ideally be playing as the full eco.
Pack a punch. That's unlocked a bit of my history.
Oh man, were you a Call of Duty boy?
I was. My first gaming console was the old Xbox 360.
Same, man, same.
Where you actually, you felt like God because you could kind of like put your finger up to, but not push the button to turn the 360 on, right?
I remember, well, because like my brothers are much older than me, so I was like
the hand-me-down.
Yeah, well, so like when they went to university and stuff, 'cause I was like 8 years old when they were going to university and stuff, I would just use all their like Xboxes and stuff. It was great.
I've got Series S right now. Like, I used to play.
Oh, like wait, is that the new Xbox?
Yeah, like where you don't. there's no like disc tray, right? Which removes again part of my history, but saves you a lot of money because you don't have to like pay.
True, yeah, true.
And you don't have to like leave your house to go to like Game or like CEX or whatever to like pick up your disc. Those the UK days, right? Nicely done. Obviously, we blabber on. This round is just an eco, so you're expecting it to go exactly how it has done so. I mean, a couple of kills.
How's it got a kill there?
Doesn't hurt anyone. But yeah, round concludes. It will be a second, now third for the T side. 9-9, all tied up.
Easy peasy. Okay, so we're gonna have an AWP out for Slend, maybe. Potentially, I think so.
I don't think so.
No, okay. If he hadn't bought head armor, I think he could have afforded it and just like no utility. But I could understand why you would want to have util in the first few rounds. 9-9. The scores are dead even. This gun round is a big swing round, especially if Heat win it. I think if Heat win it, it's going to give them a lot more freedom. Yeah. Like leverage, freedom in this map. You're going to be taking the lead, reset the economy of the CT side, and then if MOUZ NXT win it, they're going to have to win right back afterwards as well. So they're not out of trouble just yet. Early damage being inflicted both ways. Maka on 7, Nexius on 34. A very heavy stack towards the B bomb site for Heat. You've got 4 players coming out of there, Exercise with a Mac 10 lurking in middle, and it seems like directly MOUZ NXT got to be able to rotate quickly, because look, MOUZ NXT, they have the information. They have the whole information towards the A bomb site, but they're still hanging around with 3 players, and as the smokes and flashes come in, QQ is forced out of position into no man's land with Yimfat. Yimfat gets the first, but QQ cannot get anything more for himself, and it's going to be the Finn standing strong by himself. The rotations are come through, and maybe he has just saved the round for them.
Yeah, that is unreal. 2v3. Numbers should just be going their way, to be honest. MOUZ NXT, such a lead right now with Maka being low as well. One well-placed HE will be the end of his life, but he actually backs out of B, and he's going to be pulling off a bit of a flank. Not too sure if I like it, Freddy. Going towards A while your teammate in your bomb is committed towards B. Guess we'll see if we should like it soon, as right now, tremendously big halts in this round. No one doing anything. Yes, while the T side try and formulate a bit of a plan to get back into this round.
Ooh, that's not too bad. I actually do like what Mac is doing. I feel like, you know, it's different, and you got to do something different in these rounds. However, he's so slow. Oh my god, he might actually still win it. Hiding in the smoke. He needs to shoot. That's the first. Oh, Nexus in the smoke. No, he gets the kill as the time runs out. MOUZ NXT will win the round, but at what cost, Ryan? You keep no one alive.
Yeah.
Your money's in absolute shambles. This is a weirdly good position to be in for them, because as well, the loss bonus ticking down. If Heat win this round, I think that could spur them on for like 3 rounds in a row at a minimum.
That's painful to see, because I think he saw the shadow in the smoke, but only realised when it started to fade that it was actually the opposition. Exercise has taken 8 damage to begin this round off. I mean, MOUZ NXT's buy here is absolutely terrible, Freddy, as you were saying, right? Like, we've got triple MP9, 1 M4, 1 FAMAS, Smacker. Oh, you're so dead. The nade should finish the job. Nope, FAMAS won't either. How does he survive? It's one hell of a mystery. I do not know, but either way, it's still a 5v5, but so much information picked up right now. There's a little bit of mid-control, a lot of players towards ramp. Effectively, just play for your lives right now, I think, is the game plan for MOUZ NXT.
Oh my god, what a shot. Bye-bye, Nexius.
Wow.
Get out of my server. Gyoko, it's his ramp. That was an incredible shot. And that was, if I'm not mistaken, FAMAS, one of the rifles, at least.
That was the MP9.
Oh, never mind. Okay, who cares about the MP9 then? I mean, it's still a man advantage, so it's actually really substantial, and it's causing no one to be in mid. So if there was someone coming through mid, he would have a great opportunity right now. But it's gonna. They're not gonna win this. They can't. Yimfat, he's trying his best, and Ryan, this is what I mean. He's going 11 to 15. Look. Every single time he's been tested, he's been at least good for 1. That last round, when his teammates out of position, he's able to get 1. This round, all his teammates are dying. He's still able to try and get 1. He just needs more support around him, and he needs his teammates just to not die.
Going to be a tie game at 10-all. MOUZ NXT find themselves in a tricky situation, because financially, that's the straw that breaks the camel's back. Then back to square one, back to pistols. Maybe they force because they're on single loss. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, Heat are back in this game. It's 10-all. And, well, really, now staring down the barrel. Oh, no, it would be double loss bonus for the CT side. So actually, it would make more sense. Or triple. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Take the eco. No worries at all. I'm stupid, Freddy, of course.
Yeah, they'll have money next round, but like,
yeah.
No warp. Oh, QQ can drop one over, I guess, but
yeah, he full saves.
Yeah, I think this is what Maka did really well. Maka seemingly always had an AWP out. I don't know how. Like, a big part of it was saving it, but yeah, I think that was a big part of he actually getting 5 or it was 6 rounds. Like, a big part of that was the fact that they could just continuously have the AWP out, and Maka was super prolific with that. Slend, he is an incredible AWPer. But I'll be honest, in the last few games I've watched him, he hasn't been that great, which has always been a bit of a worry, because when I first watched him, I was like, this guy's the best player of all time. I think I might have just seen him in a very good position, because he hasn't been impressing me since I've watched him recently. And I want to see a little bit more from him. And I would have assumed Vertigo being, to be fair, a very anti-AWP map. I will say it's very hard to AWP on Vertigo. It's very close angles. A lot of AWPers really struggle to AWP on Vertigo. And Inferno, to be honest, isn't much easier on the T side. So he's got 2 difficult maps ahead of him. But you would assume after playing it 31 times in the last 3 months on officials alone, you'd probably... There's a reason why they're winning, and a big part of that would be the ability to AWP and like Slen's impact. I haven't seen that so far today, and they're actually going to take the lead. You know that whole thing about MOUZ NXT 2.0, MOUZ NXT 2.1? Have we completely misread this one?
Maybe there is a chance for now HEET to make it 2-0. I think we were just believing a little more in a MOUZ NXT Vertigo, right? Like the start was so good. The positioning in terms of the last 3 months and how consistent they've been on this map, like, I think 100%, like, MOUZ NXT should be winning this first, but the fact that HEET are even here, I don't know. It's a little strange to me, Freddie, a little strange that the HEET are finding themselves in such a ripe position to win this first map.
Still, they're not out of it yet. I think we're potentially jumping to conclusions a little bit. This is a very important round. The one benefit the CT side do have is the loss bonus is really racking up. They're basically on full loss bonus right now, so that's always a nice benefit to have. And that's a great opener from QQ. However, Yimfat, I was going to say, him dying causes and spells trouble for the MOUZ NXT side, but QQ, he's on fire apparently in this round. The young Dane, still alive on the B-bomb site, has support from Christian. There's the 2 Danes in conjunction now, and Exercise. The first time they're actually utilizing middle. He could be the difference maker in this deficit. I'm not sure if Slend is going to expect him, and he does, but I think he turns away at the last second. Exercise now. He's just going to run all the way back. Whoa! Oh, Maka, I thought he fell off the map. My God, was that a nice movement. However, it's only going to gift him 1, leaving Hippo the stand-in a 1 versus 2. We've seen him go huge on this bomb side before, and this time he does half of the damage, but he can't quite finish off Nexius. MOUZ NXT even up the scoreline 11-11, and Maka, my God, that was a butt-clenching moment, but he made it work. Unfortunately, the rest of his team couldn't.
That is insane. Maka's movement there.
Lands, like, on the edge.
Yeah, like, on a joke. I don't think people at home will quite believe, like, how close he was to the edge.
Oh, so close.
Millimeters away from falling.
It was giving me flashbacks because when I was in the old Puggy Wuggies the other day, it was a very tight game. My teammate on the retake decided to do that and fell off the map, but on the other way, like running onto the B-bomb site. He didn't have to. He did. He just falls off the map and we lose the game.
It's true.
Yeah. True and real.
Good start. Nexius finding Hippo, not to mention Jocko took an early exit in this round as well. He are fighting back. Lucky, stuck between a rock and a hard place. MP9 will sideswipe him. And there we go, 1v4. Just Maka left and he walks out into his demise. Yimfat waiting. There we go. 12-11, MOUZ NXT. I told you, man, that was the round they needed to win. They do it.
Yeah.
Now the collateral is they're starting to build up their own money while HEET's money starting to evaporate in front of us. It is true. There's still very much the chance that HEET can stick the landing. This is kind of like the last buy before they have to take the eco. But yeah, absolutely. I think this is an now it, Freddie, right? This is your do or die round, the now or never kind of scenario. 11-12. You cannot allow MOUZ NXT to continue to extend that lead. You've got to bring it back and bring their economy back to ground level.
Yeah, because like they don't have enough money for an AWP either, MOUZ NXT this round. If they lose, I don't think they will either. And that's a... Ooh. Did NXT have a wrong read on the economy? Did he think they're maybe going to be an eco? Because he couldn't have been any more wrong. The full buy is out for the French. And to be honest, if the bomb goes down, they have another buy again. 4 versus 4 very early on. And MOUZ NXT still contesting towards this A ramp, keeping the pressure on. And over on the other extremity, Mr. QQ and Yimfa are pushing down the B bomb side. They're going to spot out nothing. They might have just done it at the best time because HEET are all grouped up towards the bottom of this ramp towards A.
"48 seconds left. The clock in the top middle is the thing that HEET are going to be most focused on. QQ spotted out flanking, wants to try and back up, reverse out of the ramp pressure, which you don't blame him for. High stakes round, you can't be the item that gives away that disadvantage. Smokes go in towards the site. Left side smoke actually doesn't connect. I think there's a massive gap and they might just look to abuse it. Going for a bit of a spam. Lucky goes for the plant. No one there to deny. The nade goes in, but it's going to be way too late to take him down. Bam. Oh, nearly. Trying to exercise a bit of damage, but I don't agree with the jump up. Slen able to catch the first on the cross. 3 versus 3. A lot of these players tagged up, and Slen continuing to dish out the pressure. And now MOUZ NXT will turn their attention to the retake, but Rocco will find the first. QQ trades 2v2. Bomb still ticking. About 15 seconds left on it, and a sensational shot from Hippo. He's low HP, he's at the sandbags, and he's still taking heads. Yimfat doesn't have enough time to do it all, and he recognizes as he backs out of the site. He'll back out of the round. It's 12 all.
Sorry, what was that shot from Hippo? I didn't even see him peek. He was scaring me so much because he was in such a strong position where they didn't actually have any utility to flush him out, but he was still taking so much info, and he was actually just causing them so much trouble. He stayed alive at the end as well, but that last shot, I didn't even see him peek. He just one taps out the server, and there was only one kit on that retake as well, Ryan. Yimfat was the only player with a kit, so it's kind of adding problems further for MOUZ NXT. 12 to 12. The CT side, their economy, I don't think it's good enough to buy. I think they're going to have to take the eco here. Or like I think Yimfat could save for the AWP. I definitely, I just want to see the AWP out. MOUZ NXT are yet to have the AWP out so far on the CT side. And I think that's been a real true testament to why it's been so difficult. Oh my God, they're going for it. You know what? Never mind. They make it work. The utility is poor. Slender's nothing. QQ has a smoke and a nade. Nexus has a smoke and a nade. Yimfat can buy up a smoke double flash. No, smoke single flash, smoke nade. Crizzen has a smoke. They've got the weaponry, but by God, they do not have the utility. And HEET, they could just reset it now. If they get this round, they'll be on 13. They're then guaranteed 14 from the eco. And on their opponent's map pick, the staple of their opponent's whole gameplay, HEET might go on to Inferno looking to find the 2-0 after we both poise it against them. However, that's what we want to see. Yimfat, of course. When it's all looking a bit dire, he gets 2.
That is criminal. Unreal performance. 6-star. Yimfat putting HEET down to 3. I don't think it's all done just yet, because certainly there is a chance that the response. Slend under the smoke, spots some feet, can't quite hit the shot. To go back in for seconds, and you can't blame him for it. The smoke starts to fade. He's got a lot of vision here, and all the time no one's peeking. It's good info, but he's actually flashed off. HEET now start to make their presence known towards Ram. Slend. Big shot, looking for more, does find a tag up. 99 damage done to Lucky. 1 point of health left. But 1 is enough, but it's still a 2v4.
I'm trying to figure out what he's done to do 99 points of damage. Like, how is that even possible? Because he must have hit a wall bang in some area, but onto what part of the body? This round's looking over. Lucky, he's alive, but like, you know, it's 1 HP. He does have the AWP, so theoretically, it's the best weapon to have in this position. But with 30 seconds left on the clock, Joker's got the bomb, and the smokes have faded. That whole ability for him to plant the bomb has been eradicated. However, that is a good kill from Lucky. He's been spotted though, and the bomb going down will mean they have enough money to buy into the next. And wait, might they just win the round? A 2 versus 2 still here. Joko swings out. He finds 2, and now Yimfat, who started off the round, is just gonna have to finish it right here. A Kit, a Smoke, and full HP finds no. Joko nails him because he whiffs the spray. How? There was a 2 versus 5. Lucky was on 1 HP, and Joko basically does everything. That is magnificent. 24 and 15. The Frenchman is hungry. We were talking about Slen going for 3rd. Well, maybe Joko is the chef in this kitchen. 13-2. HEET. That is how? How have they done that? That could be it. That could be game over from that one round. How have MOUZ NXT let that one slip?
That is crazy. 2v4. And one of the players have 1 HP. Now look at MOUZ NXT finds its USPs. An Exercise. Oh, it's brilliant from Exercise. All 5 towards mid. 1 magazine. All 5 frags. 14-12. And we're closing in map point HEET on MOUZ NXT's pick.
Ryan, that was so crisp. I've been in, and you'll be similar. I've been in that position countless of times. I'm lucky to get 1. Like, it's so hard, and he's so calm and collected, and just like he gets the first 2, and then it also just like the fact that he goes tap tap lost. I think that's kind of the that's when you're starting to, for MOUZ NXT, like, how have we not killed him there? How have we not got that kill? Like, how have we not got 1 at least? That's a real just like head in hands moment.
Crazy. Insane. Round 27. I'm running out of chances to believe in MOUZ NXT taking their pick. Decades from Exercise, but can't not give praise to the round before. I'm at loss for words right now, Freddie, as to how this has gotten to this point. Minute and 20 left on the clock. See what they've got in store for us again. Trying to get innovative. Slen, nice first shot. Smokes go up, and that's going to block off a lot of vision. The peek out from QQ's good. New spot Hippo next as well. He swings out. Bombs dropped as well. Exercise with 5 vision. Nice shot from Slen. The AWP. Oh, finding all the frags, is going to say, but Exercise holding on. Now a 1v3.
Why do I believe? Why am I sitting here being like, oh yeah, Exercise is going to get a back-to-back ace and he's going to get a 1 versus 3 clutch? He has revealed his position. I think they knew where he was anyways. QQ with 14 HP, that's a little bit of a scary factor. And Exercise, the bomb's down, and they have got so much utility, and they are just withholding him for now. However, the Celestial, he wants to close this one out right now. 1 player on generators, 1 close left boosted up, and the other on default. That's a cool smoke. Where's that going? Oh, nowhere.
Doesn't matter, mate. He's dead.
I was gonna say, I was like, was that some unreal, like, weird smoke to cut off from generators? No. It just doesn't really go anywhere. And I think he tried to fake out a flash maybe, but it makes a different noise, a smoke and a flashbang. And I think for players these level, they'll be able to identify that. However, HEET, they will still have a buyback into this one. MOUZ NXT, this game is so close. 14-13. HEET still have the lead. Both teams' economy is so low. This could be the round. Whoever wins this might just win the game.
Oh, Maka, opening kill goes his way. Really nicely done. Nexia somehow walks in, finds the trade, walks out. Doesn't take a lick of damage for his actions. Now head in. 4 versus 4 scenario. Christian spotting the molly going in towards Gap. Flashbang goes high. There's a blind in MOUZ NXT. More blood. Look at him go. But actually, Christian finds nothing. Next up is Nexius. Runs out of ammo. Switches out to the side.
Oh my god.
Hippo might just get dropped to the boost. And he will. Yimfat drops down. And now it's all on Exercise. 1 versus 3. What a sloppy turn of events this has been. And HEET let the ball drop one too many times. And they're punished massively for it. Might just be an eco. Play for OT.
So far on this second half, it has felt like the academy team's always been on the back foot, Ryan. It's felt like they had the early resurgence, or they had the early surge on their T side, and then as soon as the halves flipped, or actually since round number 15 when they lost that round to Hippo's ace, it has felt like everything has just kind of turned against them. But now they finally find themselves in a position where they are going to be vying for 15 rounds, vying for map point. However, if they play like this on Inferno, I can't say we're going to be seeing a 2-0. They still need to close this out, though. These Deagles shouldn't be a worry. This round isn't the worry, it's the next, because overtime is most definitely on the cards.
Definitely shaping up to be that way, Freddy. Nice shot from Slend, opening things up yet again. The AWP going its sheer power towards ramp. Trying to take fight to the headshot angle. Got to be careful because facing off against the Deagle. Lucky will find one. Nexius drops him though, and all of a sudden, round is I want to say over, and I don't think anyone will go against it. Lucky and Maka 2v4. I don't think it's looking too likely.
Just see if you can get anything, I guess, really. Also, the kills for MOUZ NXT, the distribution is really even. 16, 17, 18, 18, 20. This is not normally how you see this team. Every time I've watched them, it's normally been like Slend and Yimfat, or mostly Yimfat for that matter, really far ahead. And then Nexius not too far behind. Then QQ and Crizzen really struggling. Right now, everyone is very, very even. And that could be to their benefit. I was saying the problem they had was their top-heavy fragging normally. But right now, that is not the case. And I think they have... It's really surprising that Hibbo's got an ace and is still only on 14 kills. Exercise has got an ace and is still only on 18 kills. So it's like these players are struggling to keep their consistency up. This is it, Ryan, though. Round number 30. Overtime, or do MOUZ NXT close out their map pick by the skin of their teeth?
Indeed, good sir, indeed. Nexius trying to take fights early towards Gap, understanding that I think HEET have looked pretty proactive there. Flash goes in yet again, or trying to post up as best as they can, and well, that could have been a massive opener. Instead, a sitter miss for Slend.
Hippo counting his lucky stars right there. That would have been a really unfortunate opening frag to give away. Keep running out of options potentially. They haven't got much utility, and it feels like they are just going to go over towards the B bomb side. But after taking not much control towards A, you can see the CT side are responding with the majority of their forces towards this side of the map. Molotov smokes come in. QQ finally will be mollied very late though. Smoke being dropped on his position. Yimfat gets the first. It's on to Hippo. Lucky trades out through the smoke. 4 versus 4. And the bomb site has been claimed. 30 seconds left. The bomb hasn't gone down yet. Jocko. Wait, what's Jocko doing? He's got the bomb, but he's fighting. He's fighting with no one to help him. However, the mid-wrap does come in, and it looks like overtime is going to be upon us. Slend, a 1 versus 3. They've spotted out his position. The AWP's holding for him, and Maka nails him. 15-15. It'd only be right if we go to overtime. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be throwing it to a short break. When we come back, we're going to see the resolve of this very, very tight affair.
Welcome back, people. Overtime, numero uno is upon us. HEET, apparently massive underdogs over at 1xBet. I don't know how much I want to believe in that, Freddie, but considering they've taken it to OT on MOUZ NXT's map pick, I'd be inclined to disagree. Starting this round off as well, Jocko walks on in. Oh, Jocko rolling heads towards ramp, looking for the AWP as well. Slend watching his ramp hole crumble. The only man left to defend the A site, and in the first few seconds of OT, it's already fireworks.
Where has he pulled that out? Jocko was the one in that 5 versus, or the 2 versus 5, if you can remember, when him and Lucky just kind of walked up the A bomb site and killed everyone. Majority of it was done by Jocko. That's a good start into overtime. If they take this, Ryan, you were just saying the pregame, they're probably going to take it 2-0, and I think I do agree with that sentiment. The CT side, with not much left, to be honest, they've got 1 smoke, 2 nades, and 2 flashes. It means they can potentially deny the bomb if it is going to get planted. And Slend, oh, that kill would have been very huge. But it's going to be Jocko just continuously on fire. Jocko, my god. This man's on fire. And he's just seeing red. MOUZ NXT are his prey, and he's the predator. Might be going for an ace. That's the 3rd ace from HEET we've seen this game. Sorry, you rarely see an ace in a game, let alone 3 from one team. 30-18. He is providing the energy for his team right now. The powerhouse that is Jocko. And MOUZ NXT can't quite find a rebuttal to him.
I can't believe he's dropped a 30 bomb. First round of OT, and he gets there.
Yeah, man.
Guy's a god. And heading, of course, into this round here. Very important to note, OT, our 2nd round. Real good opportunity for that CT side to claw back the advantage. Oh, Slend only hitting a leg shot. Fortunately, Christian there to trade out. Could have looked hairy. CT side only the 1 up, the 1 advantage. Still a lot of work to be done. Oh, that's a good way back in, Freddie. 3v2 now, HEET from man down to man up.
Bomb goes down. Jocko is dead, which is always it always means that MOUZ NXT have a chance. However, with the utility coming in, I think that's giving full information of what the crack is basically in this round. Lucky goes 1 for 1. I think that is enough. However, Exercise is on 2 HP, but from what we've seen before, HEET, they seem to get a buff when one of their players is below 10 HP. Oh, already sticking it. He's won. They're not peeking him.
Oh, my word.
He almost gets away with it. I thought that was it. I was like, you know what? I actually really rate that. The smoke was down, and it's kind of one of those positions where naturally you just tap the bomb. Like, if I was on the T side there, I'd be like, don't worry, no, he's tapping the bomb. Don't peek, don't peek.
Yeah.
But really good round. The player on 2 HP is the one who peaks. So ice in the veins. I think HEET got a very good understanding of what was happening. 17-15. I think from my perspective, if any team, I think from my mentality, I was going to this one. If a team wins 2 rounds in the first half, I think that is just enough. With how close this one's been, I think that is enough. A missed flash from the T side is going to mean Yimfat gets the first. However, QQ goes for a very, very aggressive trade, and sadly, it's not rewarded with it. But Chrism, the 3rd member here with the SMG at range, will dispatch with the Frenchman. And as the dust settles on the Western Front, Nexius might just be the thorn in their side, as he has pushed over towards the A bomb site. It's all the information, and it's going to allow MOUZ NXT to stack the other 2 players towards middle and B. But Chrisen, oh my god, what is he doing? How's he got away with that? He literally just runs around the corner as the boost is being set up, and I think he had the millisecond of a timing where they weren't holding for him.
3v3, don't count HEET out of a scenario like this. Peek in, Nexius doesn't find anything. How does he get away with nothing? Maka now knows where the last man is. Smoke goes in towards elevator. Molly to cut off the CT rotates. Christian will go flashing through, but Maka's there in wait. 18-15, HEET are 1 away from doing it in OT.
I wasn't expecting any team to get 3 in a row. That's marvelous. Like, everyone stepped up. The first round was Jocko, and then the other 2 rounds were very heavy, just team plays. And now HEET on the CT side They did struggle, to be honest, on the first half here. They lost the half 6-9, but with a lot of momentum in their favor. Ryan, I'd be surprised if we don't just see it being closed out either this round or the next.
Not like that. Tech pause before we head into it, but again...
Oh no, that's scary.
I don't know, I think at this very moment in time, there's not much you can do other than just sit and watch. Are you hearing that as well, Freddie, or is that just on my end?
The static?
Yes.
Yeah, I do hear a little bit. Might be coming off from me. I don't know. I actually had some... it was really awkward. I was casting the other day, and I got on, and I fear it was just like, oh, your mic sounds like it's staticky. And I was just like, huh? And he was like, yeah, it sounds really staticky. And I was like, oh, I don't know what to do about that. And then just out of nowhere, halfway through the series, it just fixed itself. And I was like, I love technology, man. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm actually, I don't know about you. I'm actually such an old man when it comes to technology. And like people, because I also work full-time on my computer, and I'm still negative in technology information. And I feel like everyone just assumes that I know about PCs when I just don't.
I'd like to think I do, like a little bit.
I have, I guess, more knowledge than the average, but not much. It's like very just above the water, I guess. Is that the phrase? Like just on like just about.
Well, good start for Christian for MOUZ NXT. Advantage goes their way. Nade at Macca's feet. Putting him down a little bit, having a little look. Yeah, cheeky little angle. I like it from Yellow. Fires through it. Not going to find much, though, unfortunately for them. Down to the 4v5, and they'll have to stick with it and hope someone can go huge to earn it back.
Ooh, Macca. Got to be careful. We did see Nexius actually win out this gunfight quite a lot over on short in the first half. There was a combination of flashbangs that would always help him out. Just tampering with the aggression over towards ramp. HEET don't want to give it up. They're going to aggress back in. 3 players here. They need to be careful of the short play, though. What I'm thinking is that Nexius could just peek out at any moment, and I don't think anyone's necessarily holding for him immediately, and they will just back away. Joko playing from sandbags. And again, just look at the amount of utility being put down right now by HEET. It's just not allowing MOUZ NXT any leeway. So much pressure being inflicted. But Lucky all by himself. I'm not a fan of this, I'll be honest. I'm just really not a fan of him pushing by himself. Joko does, but he gets 2, so apparently it's all alright. But Macca now, everything's on his shoulders, and he drops the bomb, puts it back to a 2 versus 2, and Hippo is here to help him. Macca at the worst time, unscoped, gets back into his position, looking for Nexius. He missed him out the first time, now going for the seconds. Isn't going to hold for him as the bomb goes down. It's a big nade on the QQ, but Macca through the smoke. My God, leaving Nexius in a 1 versus 2. I think that they know. I think Macca knows, and he peeks out. Of course. 27-19, Macca with an unbelievable performance. He really stepped up when his team needs him. And of course, Joko, it's those two to play in tandem to give HEET 19 a flawless overtime. And MOUZ NXT tumble down like rocks on their map pick.
Scary stuff, man. They looked unreal to close the show there, Freddie. And now, as you say, that's MOUZ NXT's pick. They're done, right? They're now going to have to face against HEET on one of their preferred maps, on one of their preferred homes. It does get tricky. It's Inferno up next. Will MOUZ NXT be able to come back and, you know, pull off the map trade? We'll find out in just a few moments.
A very complicated job, but I love simple things so much. One move, one push. One touch. One love. One click. One X-bet.
Are you sick of just opening cases? Join the events! At each event you can find special cases from which tokens fall. Tokens are your ticket into a world of unique awards. For tokens, you can buy a skin, premium, or special balance. Try your luck in the skin generator. Also, you can leave your tokens at the token vault, and the more tokens you keep, the better skin you'll get. Add variety to opening cases with Hellcase.
The hunger for glory feeds the desire, the courage to look for a challenge, to feed your ambitions. To reach for greatness. To become the champion of champions.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. Second map in just a few moments, Fred, but a very surprising turn of events in map 1. MOUZ NXT, I mean, look, they looked, I'd say, in control. They were the winning team up until the final moments. It goes to OT. HEET beat them 19-15, and it's HEET's map pick that we're now going to be playing on. So MOUZ NXT suffering a pretty massive uphill battle here, and no real time to manage, obviously, the scenario, because losing this game means you are out of CCT and you will not be making playoffs.
Yeah, actually, honestly, I think for MOUZ NXT, making playoffs here is going to be a really huge feat. And then for HEET, like, I just kind of assumed they would. Like, I saw them in the main source. I was like, oh, they're going to make the playoffs. Okay, quite nice. And now they're in a position where both these teams, that we were talking about at the start, it's very interesting. Both these teams did go 0-2 at the start. So regardless, an impressive resurgence from both squads, but very disappointing to fall out here at the last hurdle. And like, just looking at Vertigo, so on a pure just statistics basis, 32 games played and 23 of them won for MOUZ NXT. HEET, they've played 12 and have only won 6, including the one they just played there. So you've got almost triple the amount of maps played on Vertigo for MOUZ NXT, and they do it at they're doing it well as well. So the fact they don't pick it up is going to be spelling disaster. Inferno now, this is their bread and butter. I think you've already said as well, this is their map. They did recently lose it yesterday in a double overtime versus Into the Breach, but prior to that, it was just win after win after win against some very impressive teams. And when they have lost, it's been equally against some very impressive teams. They've lost to likes of Big, Aurora, Gamer Legion and Force. They've beaten Aurora, so they've only lost to like really high level top 30 teams, top 20 teams. Whereas MOUZ NXT, when they've won, it's been against Masonic, it's been against Eklot. When they've lost, it's been against Sangal, Harvu, Enterprise, not necessarily the higher level opponents. So now we get into it, Ryan. I think our predictions might just be switched over, because I think it might be a HEET 2-0 when we both said MOUZ NXT were going to be winning it either 2-1 or 2-0.
Yeah, let's head into it, ladies and gents. I'm hearing nades in the background.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we're straight into it.
And straight in we are. Minute and 30 left on the clock already. Haven't missed any of the Counter-Strike other than a little bit of a tag onto QQ, who I'm guessing they're playing towards apps. Very slow right now. Christian opening kill. MOUZ NXT dropping Heat down to 4, jiggling in. Yimfat will spot a few. And unfortunately for you, good sir, although you spot some, you're going to have to do an awful lot of killing here if you want to deny a plant. And unfortunately, the smoke is going to be too much. Favourites over at 1x, but understandably so now for Heat. So much so that MOUZ NXT, massive outside. You're going to check it out, of course, CCT.gg/1xbet. That's Lucky holding on to the Julies. Finds the first. Yimfat, do you dare even test the trade? He does, but Jocko, he'll have the final say in that duel as it goes now to a pretty stale situation. 3 versus 3. Nice shot out of Jocko. Looking for more as well. Oh, Jocko
Oh my
with the
god.
shot. Hippo, excuse me, will find the last. The kills are flooding in here for Heat as they pick up the pistol.
Am I right in saying that I never really saw Jocko as this like unreal performer? Is that me just not knowing him well enough?
I don't know, mate.
I'm looking at his statistics and like he isn't this massive aimer. Like recently, to be fair, he's been playing really well. But if you're taking a look at kind of like the back end of last year, and well, just kind of last year in general, like very mediocre performances. And then this year being playing superbly, like they failed to make the major, but he was one of the main reasons they kind of got to that close qualifier and was doing really well when he was there. And then now in tournaments like this, he's been doing really well. And speaking of Jocko, he's actually got a little bit of problems. So we're not going to be getting into it just yet, as we are just going to have to wait for him to fix that up momentarily. And he got a triple and broke his microphone. You know what? I respect that.
Getting excited, mate. That's what it was. Spraying too hard. Mic fell out, you know. Something like that. Anyway. Second round. Underway. Force buy here for MOUZ NXT. Don't completely agree with it again. It's like one of those that you like, kind of do see teams dip their toes into the investment. The argument is, do you want the rifles immediately out, or do you want better weaponry and better utility? Just concede another. Well, I'm not saying the Deagles and the 5.7s and the armor can't do anything in this round. It's just very difficult to see if that can happen. We'll obviously observe how they get on. Already banana control taken. Nice little bit of utility being thrown out as well, denying that banana retake presence for Heat. Not to mention, there is a man out on long, and exercise he's been spotted. Jumps into CT. Deagle Yimfat finds him. A little bit over-oppressive on his part, but for Jocko, he has just opened up the possibility of heading in towards B. But all the rotates now coming in. MOUZ NXT need to get a move on, need to help his teammate. Swing from Yimfat finds nothing but Slend and Christian both with kills. All of a sudden, 3 versus 2, 3 versus 1. And the nade from QQ will finish the job. Forget what I was saying. The Deagles and the half arm are working out perfectly here as the CT side equalise.
Yeah, that's what we like to see. Keeping it close early on. And the money for Heat is bad. If I'm them, I'd buy into this. Yeah, like you're on double eco. You're just gonna leave Jocko. Okay, he's gonna buy a Glil. I was gonna say, that's a weird, like, Mac is saving for an AWP, so surely you don't have Jocko saving for anything either. He's actually gonna drop the Glil to Hippo. He had no armor, so he bought it up like a hero AK, but a hero Galil. And late out spawn there for Maka. I think he bought up a smoke at the end. Not a great buy, I'll be honest. 2 smokes, a Galil, 3 Deagles, one of them being non-armored, and just a Glock non-armored. This should be quite easy for MOUZ NXT, unless heroics are pulled off.
Very slow yet again. I think Heat recognising they're losing the round pretty embarrassingly. The threat is certainly there. Oh.
Bye-bye, Slend.
My word.
Sorry, what is happening? How has he pulled that off? If you're going to cast your mind, Max, that AC got on Vertigo as well. Like, he's crispy today. He's actually pulled over a rotation. Corazon is going to come and replace Slend, his fallen teammate, which does just mean Yimfat is all by himself on this B-bomb site. They have no utility or no flashbangs to actually push themselves forward. So with 30 seconds left, when that Molotov's being dropped by Corazon, it means that HEET are just going to have to bide their time, and Yimfat, he surely gets a multi-frag here, right? Especially with Krisen spamming through the smoke. Yimfat even has a flashbang if he needs it. Oh my god, the Glock double thinks him. No shot. Okay, Krisen's probably just gonna ace here, right? He's coming for the rotation. He's done so much damage to Jilko and Maka. He's got 2 kills already. He's got the FAMAS in hand. The bomb going down for HEET, to be honest, is better than I even anticipated. Jilko will be the first point of contact there. There's no trade out from the Galil. 2 Galils left. An exercise, and Maka, oh, not like this. Nexius not blinded by the flashbang, and it'll just about get that 1 versus 2. The flashbang, it was behind the fountain. He throws it down, and the fountain blocks it out. They peek with the flashbang, but Nexius is just unblind, and MOUZ NXT just about clip jump a second.
I don't know how they find that second round. HEET just, yeah, I mean, they deserved it, to be honest, because of the weaponry, but HEET doing so much damage in a round that they probably shouldn't have had much of a say. And look at this. They're going to go for a bit of a force buy. Hippo dropping over the AK to Jocko. Jocko's taking armor full util. Exercise got Gil full armor. Maka's got AK full armor full util. Mate, this is going to be an exciting round of CS because MOUZ NXT probably expecting an eco here, but it's going to be a set of rifles that are going to be running into their crosshairs in this round.
I kind of respect the investment here. I actually do like it. I think it's kind of high risk, high reward. If you do lose this, it can send you down the rabbit hole. That's the only issue. They're just going to go straight towards the B bombs. And again, this time they don't unfortunately have that just opener from exercise with the deagle towards long. So Slend is going to have some impact in this one. Very passive across the map. MOUZ NXT are really just anchoring down these bomb sites. 2 players in CT. Over on the B bomb site, 1 boosted up, 1 jiggling for smoke. I like this position. I think it's really strong, but having only 2 players, if they get smoked out CT, and if the boost is only able to get 1, it might not be enough, as this bomb site's very hard to retake. Smoke's coming through now. XU's going to come in. They're just going to run through that smoke. Yimfat on boost. Can't even get 1, but a lot of damage. Oh, the second player dies. Krisen gets spammed through the smoke. However, Joko getting a little bit too aggressive, potentially pushing through that smoke. The flank, also the lurk has been neutralized from exercise. So a 4 versus 3 with 2 kits and another frag might just be in favor for MOUZ NXT. But Yimfat's thrown his weapon away, so he's only going to be in a USP, but I don't think it's going to matter too much as Hippo's just on 4 HP.
Jumping about, getting the information. 10-second defuse. Hippo probably now thinking, wait, he's probably not on it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He peeks out. Yimfat there to meet him. Picks up the M4. And QQ will stick the landing for MOUZ NXT's 3rd. Again, another bomb plant and a couple of kills. I think this is where you've got to draw the short straw. Just take the eco. Don't worry about investing again. Focus on the future here. Because, of course, you took the force buy when you shouldn't have in the last. You do a little bit of damage, you get a bomb plant. Just call it quits there. Allows MOUZ NXT to get to a 4th, but then you can really develop your own buy heading into the next. So, should be a chill round, Freddie, for us to just have a little chat about and, observe. I don't think there's any change in the result. MOUZ NXT up to a good start here on the CT side. But let's not forget, exact same thing happened in the last map. It was MOUZ NXT that surprised us a little bit at the beginning. He brought it all the way back. 15.
They're up 5-1, I think, at one stage.
I think they were.
It was,
You're right.
Yeah, it was a very aggressive start for MOUZ NXT, and I was like, oh, okay, we're just going to see them win the map, and it's going to go to Inferno, and then HEET are going to win Inferno, but that just didn't happen. And honestly, I'm quite enjoying the CS so far today. Being very crispy, being very energetic, just in your face, and HEET, for the 3rd time in the round, for 3rd time in a row, going to go over towards the B bomb site. But my god, is that good utility usage. Anti-rush nades being placed perfectly. Hippo dies, Exercise dies, Lucky's on 34 HP. Round's over.
I think it already was, wasn't it? Like the scenario here being on Tech 9's half armor. Limited utility, nicely done. Christian while blind just holds mouse 1. There we go. It is a very easy pickup to make it a 4th for MOUZ NXT, but I'm more intrigued by the juicy investment that comes MOUZ NXT's way in round 6. Of course, he should have full rifles, full utility, maybe even an AWP setup. Maybe that's a bit too much of a push, actually. Hippo might just be able to afford it. But again, it's Inferno, it's T-side. There we have it, 4-1, MOUZ NXT. The here and now, at least, Freddy, like the start of Vertigo, as you say, off to a good start.
I just kind of want to see them not go towards B. Just please take some map control anywhere else on the board. You'd think that, because this is what MOUZ NXT were doing on their team. They just went A every single round. And then whenever they went B, it worked. Whenever they threw, I guess what they're doing well here is just conditioning to be scared and like maybe put more pressure over towards the B bomb side, the CT side, and then they can start exploiting other parts of the map. However, in this round already, NXT has taken some damage, but it's all overshadowed by the fact that HEET have lost a lot of HP on Hippo and Joko early on by grenades, and that's just basically Inferno to a T. I can hear AZS in my head going, Inferno, bad map, damage gets taken when you try to take map control, which is true to be fair.
Yeah. I think I like Inferno actually. I do
like it. It's my favorite map, I think.
It needs changes, but it's fundamentally like a really fun map to play. It is in my bottom 3, like for personal, but for casting, I love this map. I know teams sometimes don't particularly like it, but there we go. I don't know. It's personal opinion. That's the glory of Counter-Strike. Unlike, you know, different types of games like League of Legends, where you can only play like one map one time.
That must get so boring. I actually don't understand how people can do that. Like 10, 12 hours a day on literally the exact same thing. Like that's annoying. And I get bored when I play a map 2 times in a row, let alone like the same one the whole day. But I think Inferno overpassed Nuka, personal top 3 for me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird.
My top 3, hot take here, Vertigo, Anubis. Maybe even Overpass?
Ooh, I love Overpass, man. Actually, it's such a good map. Whereas right now,
Inferno.
Ooh, yeah, we're actually on Inferno. And there's 2 players on the A bomb site. So kind of actually, this is what I was talking about at the start of the round, right? He have really conditioned MOUZ NXT to be scared and cautious over towards the B bomb site. So now, as they go for an execute towards A, they do get the bomb site. However, there's only 3 players alive for them, and they're all tagged down quite heavily. A lot of it from the start of the round. No utility as well, but it doesn't matter because Maka puts in their advantage. Joko gets spotted out, but that's the information favors the T side, as no one has any utility to disrupt that player in pit, get him out of position. And with the deficit and with only 1 kit, it's just going to be a save for the CT side. That's a pretty good round from HEET. That's a good second, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But then again, you know, you can afford. Oh, Joko goes down to the bomb. Inferno updates. Remember that, guys. Been around for yonks now, but yes, the bomb radius has indeed increased. But I will give it to them, Freddy, right? Like, the here and now aspects, like, MOUZ NXT, sure, you know, you've just conceded a round, but it's a sensible save to make. You've got a couple of guns brought into the next round. More critically, though, for HEET, is you've lost 3 players, you've only saved 2 guns, someone has to take a deduction, and it is Joko on a Galil. Hippo can go for an AK, but again, it's going to be a team drop. You've got an AWP on Maka. But, you know, like for like, pound for pound, MOUZ NXT are going to have the better investment. You can see the bar just underneath the scoreline there. It just does lean in their favor. So they're going to need something a little out of the hat here to give them a 3rd.
Very slow affair for HEET. There's kind of 2 ways to play Inferno, right? The first is just gun-ho, you're running towards one of either top brackets or banana, or playing very slow and just forcing MOUZ NXT to take a lot of space. So it's like right now, you look at this, you're like, oh my god, guys, we've got so much information. Look at us, we've got top brackets and top banana and the whole of banana. Hold on a second. If they throw 1 flashbang towards B, you have to go back to site. And yeah, look at this. They're going to be just... They've got no utility. That flashbang comes in, and now they've kind of lost control of the whole of banana without really too much. And Maka, oh, that's a really hard angle to hold. But to be fair, his presence alone just forces them away. HEET in a great position now where if they execute on the B bomb site, Kristen and Yimfat, they're going to be in a really hard position. They need to place the Molotovs right. If they get one towards top banana, top oranges, and they get one towards either new box or dark, it's going to really put the city side in an uncomfortable position. However, Exercise, this time the luck's not going to go in his favor, and because he's died, it's going to allow Nexius to rotate over. Smokes are coming in. Nexius has no utility for himself, but the whole team are coming through now. Molotovs haven't really phased the CT side too much, and Yimfat's still going to be able to get one. He gets traded out, and the back bomb side player doesn't find anything either. Over the smoke, Nexius on the rotation has tried to push through, but he doesn't find any success. And it just means that Lucky with a 3k might have just won this round out for Heat, and Slend and QQ, they're still going for it. And I can see why actually, because Slend gets the first. A right eye peek onto the second will award him the frag. Lucky has to get the 1 versus 2 ace right now. He's been spotted. He's done a lot of damage. Slend going to the Galil. Jiggling with it. What? Lucky might just get it. Lucky might just get the ace, but no. The Hungarian Orpa, 2 with the big green, 1 with the Galil, clutches it up for the Academy side.
Mate, my question here is, why are there 2 people facing 1 by 1 on this MOUZ NXT clutch? Why are we sending Slend in second, but the CT player swings out prematurely? A really big roll of the dice, but it is a round in favor of MOUZ NXT, 5-2. And now, it's safe to say at this very moment in time, MOUZ NXT looking like the strongest team. They are on that CT side though. Heat are going to give another go at it, wheeling it up with another gun by double AK, double Galil, 1 Deagle. So it really is clutching at straws yet again here, Freddy. But it's one that Heat are just desperate to try and find on the board.
This is very, you know who I think plays Inferno amazingly? Is Fours. There was that little meme about when Hooksy messaged Jerry about like, oh, why are you wrecking me in Inferno? And if you actually watch their demos, they're just so aggressive and they don't allow any space to the opponents. And that's how I like to play Inferno. So they're not necessarily playing a wrong style of Inferno, but they're playing the style I don't like to play. And I think, like, I know it's really easy to say of like, oh, it's why they're losing, but I think they're just playing a little bit too slow for my liking on a map where I think being aggressive and being in the face of the opponents is how you play it. Wait, is there a Molotov just down long?
Oh, that's bad from Exercise. He's the early man now, of course. Deficit going to haunt them. Impo looking for an entry towards the site. They know give back towards the pillar area. He's still alive. Lucky and Choco will trade out. So even Stevens for the site scenario, but a man down overall. Smoke goes in towards CT. Molly deep towards the coffin area.
Good.
And that's going to hold back a lot of this retake early doors. 2 versus 3. Goes in. Nexius trying to introduce himself to the post-plant scenario. Lucky up close. Got to hit the shots. QQ hitting the second. And there we have it. It's going to be a 6th on the board. MOUZ NXT continuing to deliver.
Exercise has tried to lurk mid every single round. On that, I think it was the 2nd or 3rd round when he got that Deagle shot. Grand, perfect. Oh my god, he's the star of the show. He's limited the rotations. They don't even win the round off it, to be honest, either. And then in the last 3 or 4, he's actually been the first to die, and he's allowed the rotations to freely go towards the B bomb site. The CT side are just full in understanding of what's happening. They know Exercise is just going to be around top mid in that like 1 minute to 40-second mark. Also in that post plant, it hasn't necessarily been lucky, but you see where he was playing towards coffins. On the actual coffins themselves, on the first angle towards as they come out, he's not necessarily him, but every time they've played there, which has been 3 rounds in a row on the post plant, the player hasn't got any frags. So they're trying to beat a dead horse potentially with that post plant position. And MOUZ NXT are just taking apart this very simple T side right now.
Sneaking in. Oh, Maka catching cushion with his pants down. Smoke goes on top of the molly. Lucky's just pushing in solo. Bit of an unsensible push. Flash goes in high. Ort wants to take the fight. Nade goes in as well. Slend trying to sit under the nade. That is a very cool piece of tech, but unfortunately, all for nothing. Maka wants more heads. Now take Slend's off his shoulders. Now down to 3 here. CT side finding themselves a little bit of a deficit. Putting out Maka, magnificent amounts of damage, but look at this. It's drawn all the rotates. The double B stack short. And there you go, the pincer maneuver now putting QQ alone on the site, finds the first, drops the bomb, and a Molotov's coming in as well. Why is Jocko facing without a bow? Both players fall, and QQ holds on to the entirety of the site. 1 point of health to spare, but MOUZ NXT 7-2.
Leading by 5. Very bizarre Inferno we're watching right now. I really rate Heat on this map, and they're just really not playing very well. Last time I saw Hippo on Inferno, he went like 23-13 against Yano. However, he's just not doing the same right now. He had a pretty poor performance on Vertigo. He had that one ace in round number 15, which was crucial, but that was it. He didn't really do much else in the whole map, and it was a big downfall for Heat. They have the loss bonus, you know, silver linings amidst the rain cloud, but MOUZ NXT are just playing very simple Counter-Strike because they don't need to, they're playing the bomb sites. They're choosing now to not use utility early, something they were doing at the beginning, but they don't have to do that anymore because Heat are playing so slow. MOUZ NXT have reactionary, their reaction to all of this is like, okay, let's just anchor down the bomb sites. However, this round, as I'm saying, they're actually going to take quite a bit of aggression towards Banana. They're going to take the information early, and they're actually just going to do so much damage to Lucky. Oh, no, what? No, they're not taking information. They're just using the utility from the Yorpa. It's going to allow Yimfat to rotate back over. As that's happening, 4 players go early towards A. Okay, it's a bit of a gamble stack early on, without any information to go off on.
A bit slow. Heat trying to formulate plans more or less in the mid round, I think. Flashes thrown out into the open. Yimfat waits in the cubby corner. I think it's all going to be a bait now for MOUZ NXT. Find themselves in a very tricky scenario, of course. Heat, they're trying to earn their way back into this game, being 7-2 down. You know, no polite way of saying it. It is just a bad start from them overall. See if they can find their way back in. The flashes are brilliant, though. Look at this A-hole. It's exceptional. Nexius finding 3. Yimfat and Christian all in on the plan, though. And that's going to be 8-2. MOUZ NXT guaranteeing a lead heading into the second half. Freddy, I don't know what they've done in the break, but needs to happen more because they've been farming ever since they rocked up to Inferno.
The amount of times I do just see teams reset in that 10-minute break is astonishing, and
crazy.
It seems like they have. MOUZ NXT, I feel like Vertigo should have gone in their favor, and the fact that it didn't is astounding, and now they're just vying to put us onto Ancient. It's a very boring Inferno being played by Heat. Like, they're just playing so slow until 20 seconds. Going into a bomb site, just dying. Like, it's just so flat, so deflated. I'm really surprised at what we're watching right now. And MOUZ NXT are just playing so well. They're just reactionarily reading into this play so well. And, yeah, they drop the bomb in T-spawn. They throw in dabbles of aggression. It just catches Heat off guard. That's an early advantage. Yeah, Kristen takes damage, but he's just going to get away with... He's going to get away with something he never should have been allowed to do in the first place.
Again, there is a kill that comes in elsewhere. That's the long player dropped and brackets control obtained. Not to mention the bomb just got picked back up. Nexius. Oh, what? Christian! What is that? My vocal cords did not like what they saw. 2 through the smoke, back of the last man left. Freddy, what was that? He's just spammed 2 up. Oh, that is disgusting. So filthy. Oh, my words. 4v4, thought it looked on the up. Trajectory looked good, short control picked up, and he just walked right into it. Oh, my word. I don't believe it. I do not believe it.
I don't know how Kristen's got 2 there. Like, it's just... it's crazy. what's happened to Heat? That so Hippo's still 1-10. Exercise hasn't got a kill in rounds. Kind of got Joko, Maka, and Lucky trying their best, but even then they're just kind of getting one kill a round, and that's about it. MOUZ NXT, very similar to what we saw in Vertigo. The kill distribution is very even across the board. I love the fact that Slen's not even needed. Like, the rifle's just doing all the work anyways. Slen's just supporting his teammate with utility in a lot of aspects. Yet again, just playing a very slow T side. They're all down towards ramp, and even though they try to avoid the nades, they cannot get away from the hailstorm. Lucky on 55, Exercise on 76. They've been nuked down early on, and it's going to go towards the B bomb site. That's a great Molotov. Loads of information. Just ticking on 2 players. The smoke means that they are just going to pop onto this site. No CT smoke. They will finally produce one. However, the damage keeps on being inflicted. Nexus has come over with a flash and a Molotov for himself, and it seems like they are just going to pounce upon this B bomb site. However, oh my god, the T's make it work. Gyoko coming from CT into Coffins will nail the backside player, and finally Heat might have broken through on a weird round. They actually make it work. Or do they?
Oh, will they? Freddy, don't jinx them. Don't jinx them now. Goes in. QQ starts to make his way forward. Hits the shot on Jocko. Now it's just Maka. And Maka, oh, he whiffed so hard. Didn't even get the kill. I thought he would have had Slen and it would have been down to the 1v1. But he can't do anything right. They've got sites, they've got plants, but they just can't do anything to close around, Freddy. 10-2. MOUZ NXT, what a brilliant, brilliant start.
They're playing phenomenal. It's the fact that, like, Slend... Yeah, it's the fact that Slend... How has he got that kill? Maka whiffs his line. 10-2, 8 rounds lead. The T side, they get the bomb down, so it's like, yippee, we get a buyout. But regardless of anything, even if Heat get the last 3 rounds in the half, 10 is still phenomenal on the T side of Inferno at this level of Counter-Strike. I think for me, at tier 1, you seem to see a very heavy T side dominance. Not heavy, but like you tend to see T sides being favored. But at this level, I think CT is still in favor. But 10-2 is astonishing. They have got a 2-man disadvantage right now at MOUZ NXT. However, QQ's in a great position to just even it back up. You know what? Fair enough. They don't expect him. However, the rest of his team are dying around him. He's in a very difficult position, and Maka will burst the cranium. Yimfat on the rotation. Probably just save here, to be honest. The money's not ideal for the last 2 rounds of the half, considering they've won so many rounds in a row. So I think him here saving the rifle would be healthy, but no, Joker's going to hunt him down, and the Finn won't have anything in the next round. But the money's good for it. What I'm saying is, like, the money's good for this round. It's more for round number 15 if they lose or win with only 1 player alive.
Round 14, penultimate at the half. It's 10-3. 10-3. NXT side, double digits. The French can't even put up a 4th right now. Just struggling to find anything. I don't know, mate. Like, I'd have thought 10-5, like, at a minimum 5 rounds. T-side could have been achievable, but the fact that we're in a position, T-sided map, statistically, and MOUZ NXT have already found double digits on the CT side. I just don't believe, mate. I think as quick as we started map 1, we can wrap this one, or as quick as we started map 2, we can wrap it up and talk about our decider, because there shouldn't be a way, at least, MOUZ NXT lose from this position. Just shouldn't.
I mean, I've seen crazier and wackier things this game. Oh, sorry, this series. Like 3 aces on that map 1 for Heat was bonkers. And I mean, they are good at this map for a reason. So if we are going to see a map they come back on, potentially as Inferno, but these last 2 rounds, I was saying it's not ideal, but it is a must. It's a mandatory. MOUZ NXT win even one of these, and I think that's going to be GG's for Inferno. However, this round is looking difficult. Next year's pushed down A. It's going to be a 4-man stack pretty much over towards B bomb side. They're going to be fighting CT. A mid-side smoke will mean that the CTs are going to have to deal with them head on as they're rotating in. They just about will salvage a 3 versus 3 heat, but the HP is very low. Joko and Hippo both living on a thread, and it will just be Joko left alone, AWP in hand. 2 kills already. Make that a 3rd. He has to get the ace 1v3 clutch, and with 5 seconds left. And he gets never mind. I was gonna say he has no time, but he gets naded anyways. That's 11. And as I was saying, they had to get both, but Kristen with a 4K denies them that opportunity.
That is. Oh, it's so difficult to watch.
This is it
so
hurts.
Difficult. Yeah. Because like, realistically, we should never have been in a position, we're talking, okay, second map, yeah, it doesn't matter, doesn't matter. You should be absolutely running with this game, Heat. This is your game to lose. And, I don't know, this position, tough watch. Real tough watch.
It's the fact that Exercise, Hippo, and Lucky have 13 kills combined. Oh, no, that's a difficult one. They don't even have a 1 kill per round between 3 players. And it will get a little bit better. Hippo gets 1. Adds to his tally a wee bit. But the constant nade damage is just so brutal. Exterminating the French at every single instance. This should be a 12 for MOUZ NXT, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, definitely unlike Vertigo, we can say shoulds. And maybe even wills, to be honest with you. Okay.
I mean, this round's going to probably
I'll
get,
change it to a good. Yep, Slay hits 1. 3 versus 1, at least there'll be 4. But, like, come on, guys. Was that the hardest round? You should never be winning this. And, yeah, they are. Yimfat against 3. Looking too likely, and Jocko hits him through the smoke. 11-4. Turn of the half. The Heat boys definitely aren't going to be too happy about that performance. Can they turn things around on their CT side? We'll find out in just a mo. Welcome back, ladies and gents. 11-4, MOUZ NXT, a massive recovery. And there is every opportunity that these guys can turn it around, and after losing their map pick, bring things right back up to speed. One starts with a bit of a crab walk up second mid. MOUZ NXT taking things slow with the bomb. Heat boys triple stacking on B. Surprised that they haven't actually gone for any early reads. It is just a very passive setup, very default-esque. Squad starting to head out towards long. Look at that. The one smoke has just baited the entirety of this play. Oh, it's a B split. It's a B split. Oh, it's so smart. It's so smart. Nice from Jocko. He swings down B. Solo finding a double. Christian and Nexius both can't collect. And now the rest of the force that was meant to be the surprising factor is the only factor to try and give MOUZ NXT a 12th. Flashbang goes in. Maka trying to delay. Will hit the steps approaching towards site. Jocko, where's he in all of this? He's still on banana. Nice shot from Slen to find Lucky. Hippo starting to flank out as well. Bomb can't cross. Yimfat starting to face him towards CT. Slender close. Oh my god, it's such a dogfight towards CT. And if they do head towards A, it's an open site, but 30 seconds left. They've got to make the moving quick.
MOUZ NXT are yet to win a pistol round in this series. this could be the time. Exercise has got the rotation. He hasn't got a kill since round number 5. This should be the time. That has to be the time. Dual Brez in hand, cowboy style, running them down. And he can't get it done. How? How has he not got one there at least? So Gyoko, who started off this round, is going to have to get a 1 versus 3 ace clutch to keep his team in this map. And that's not a good start because Yimfat will nail his head with the picked up dual Berettas. 12-4, and what a way to win your first pistol round.
I don't believe how that goes 5v3 in favor of Heat and they still end up losing the round. Like,
and they have the read. They literally have everything, right?
They have banana control. They know that it's a triple stack towards CT. Like, they know that it was meant to be a B split. And they still lose. I don't know, man. Like, maybe it was just meant to be that MOUZ NXT take a second. I don't know, but that's like an unlosable scenario for Heat. And they still fumble massively.
What can you do, man? What can you do? 12-4, Zonic's Law might be not coming into fruition this time. Honestly, Zonic's Law just isn't a thing. Like, it just doesn't exist. I actually don't know where that came from. Like, it's not a dangerous scoreline at all. 11-4 is just a normal.
I always say this. I'm always like, everyone's like, oh, it's Zonic's Law. I'm like, dude, it's just 11-4. Like, you lose the pistol, you lose the game. Like, stop and take the tinfoil hat off for a second. Just recognize the situation. I'm with you.
Like,
ooh.
Yeah, oh my god, guys, they're gonna win. It's like, no, it's just, it literally, statistically, it's probably like 30% of games are won 11-4. Or like, if you're watching Nuke, of course 11-4 is a scary scoreline if you're going to the CT side, because, or something like that, like, naturally it will be. But yeah, the only law I believe in is Hayes' law. I don't know if you've heard it, but it dictates that if a team forces it into overtime, then they lose the first round of overtime. And I actually back that. I just think it's quite cool. And I've actually seen that happen more than often. When, like, you know, a team's like 15-10 up and they lose 5 rounds in a row and then
win the first round of
Yeah,
OT.
I have seen that a lot. That's one I back. And I back the South African on that one.
I'm with you. Definitely there is a world in which like that happens an awful lot more than it should.
It's like the pressure gets taken off for a second.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like what other quirky ones we have in CS.
I'm trying to think.
Like what other
trading
weird...
the opponent's map picks.
Yeah, well that's just like tier 2 classic, right?
That's
like
the tier 2 El Clasico.
El Clasico, yeah, exactly.
One I see a lot is you know, when it, like in a position like this, Heat win the first gun round, get to double digits and then lose.
Yeah, that's true. Like stuck at 15.
Yeah, stuck at 15 I think is a real big one, like failing to close it out. And a big part of that is teams trying to force an issue, being like, let's just close it out, let's just end the game. And that's a big issue I think within all levels of Counter-Strike, and that happens all the time at every single level. So I think that could be one.
There you go, 3 steps to winning in Counter-Strike.
I've got another one.
OT, don't choke at 15, and yeah, that's about it. Map trade.
Right.
There you go.
I've got another one.
Go on, hit me.
Ryan Retro Bernard to be double grouped at every LAN.
That didn't happen though this time.
Oh, it's the law was broken. You finally broke the curse.
It's true.
Oh no, Dweg to be double grouped.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, that's never not gonna happen.
Listening, like, yeah, unlucky man.
He's never gonna get out of groups.
Poor guy's catching slack even on a broadcast. He doesn't work.
This is his safe space.
No longer.
No longer. We take it away from him. Also, what is this buy?
I thought this as well. I thought it was just going to be like a sensible, like, kind of save for the CT side, but no.
Oh, they flash themselves.
No, it's not amazing. Oh, and on banana as well. It's not going amazing, to be honest. Not going amazing at all.
That was actually such a good pick. If Hippo had swung with the flash, it'd been great, but he swings into the flash, and they both just stare at each other blinded, neither quite realizing either in front of them. And it favors the T side in the manner that they can just get away and survive. However, they do have the gamble read 3 out of the 4 remaining players over towards the A bomb side, and MOUZ NXT are looking to incline their way forward.
40 seconds left. MOUZ NXT really wanting to slam the brakes a little bit more. Jocko going to find Nexius. Nice shot from QQ. Hippo trades out. Could be number 5 on the board here. CT side setting a nice crossfire up. Yimfat dropping the smoke as his teammate falls. So now it is just him against 3, him against 2, him against 1. He found both kills towards the A site. Problem is the flank from short, no longer a problem. Spamming away, and Jocko will just about make it a heat fair.
To be honest, if I'd ever want anyone in that position, it would be Jocko. He's having such a good series. And even though they're losing by 8 rounds, I think that is, he still has 22 to 13. This man's on fire. Solo carrying his team in an attempt for victory. That's actually an unreal scoreline. And I'll say, I didn't see him as this like unreal fragger, but he's kind of showed to me this series that he has it in his pocket. Are we just going to see it maybe a little bit consistently? I don't know. Right now, though, it's going to be a fast play over towards the B bomb side, potentially for Nexius. He might just get flashed over this half full, but there are 3 players there on the other side to deal with him. And he is going to go through, but Jocko not flashed. Lucky not flashed, and that's the opening pick for the CT side. However, the reaction from MOUZ NXT is going to go head themselves over towards the bomb side, where only 2 players are here. A great Molotov from Hippo, who's going to stop them. They're trying to wrap around the side, and all they're going to get is bullets in the back of their head. Jocko, only good for the first. It's a rare non-multi-frag from him. However, I think the damage and the disruption has been done.
Exercise, auto shotgun, Yimfat first into it. Any more? No, but he will be traded out eventually. Christian coming in from the apartments. Nice to pick that one up. Spots out Maka as well. Why are we pushing there, gents? Specifically you, Maka. Why are we pushing into middle, 2v3? You got the numbers game. If you want to go and clue up, maybe gamble a site or something. I don't know. Either way, there is a responsible trade, and Hippo's able to bring the round to rest. But again, it's one of those I look at, Freddie, and I'm like, well, was there any need for Maka to go running in there? Probably not. Fortunate to be walking away with the 6th, but HEET do it. It's 13 to 6.
Ryan, is there a world? You know what I'm talking about.
Nah.
We're gonna get a cringer. We're gonna get HEET to go to 12. It's gonna go 13-12 or 6. It's gonna be either, I'd say it's gonna be 14-12. So like MOUZ NXT are gonna get a round at like round 23. They're gonna win a gun round, but then HEET are gonna instantly trade them out. And then at 14-12, MOUZ NXT are gonna be on a Tech 9 buy. They're gonna win a cringer and they're gonna win out the map. That's my hot take. I got exercise.
Maka. Yeah, also shotgun back at it.
I love it. The fact he's actually going to probably get a multi-frag as well. What's such a weird... What's happening? What is this happening? Maka's just farming. Okay. What's happening, man?
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what I'm watching.
Why are they taking the long-range fights of Glocks? The P250 is the one weapon that went into apartments. The one longer range pistol.
13-7. He doing it, man. Maybe. Still a long way to go. I'm not a believer yet, Freddie. I am firmly on the side of map 3. He are putting up some good rounds here on the CT side, though, right? Like, there's no denying that. They are definitely earning some respect back. But I think at this point, they're still fighting for their dignity and still fighting to prove that they can do it rather than anything else. Mactazorb baited out, giving a bit of shoulder. Yeah, pulls the trigger a bit prematurely, and so doesn't walk away with any advantages for his team. But, of course, it's all insightful information until the flashbang comes in. It was a lot of knowledge as to what was going on. A return flash to try and get himself back on the angle, but a smoke to block him of it. So he probably want to play things a little slower, a little more passive now as they give up that initial B play.
I'm personally not in the mentality that, you know, it's like, oh, let's get our confidence up for map 3 by salvaging this a little bit. I think that's actively not a thing. I don't think players have that in their mental. They like if you're making it close, you don't want to be like, oh, we're just getting confidence. No, you want to be winning the game. I don't think it really plays any factor into like the next maps. So I don't know about you. We can talk about it after this round because it could be Heat. It could be Heat still falling. They have a man deficit here, and theoretically, this does work out to my theory of a 14th round for MOUZ NXT. But I love this rotation. Gioko's gonna get tested, playing on Fountain. No flash just yet as they come through. He's not blinded, dancing around, hasn't been spotted, but oh, he can't find the first. He had to at least get one, and that's round over there, Ryan.
Gonna be 14. They've called for the remaining 3, understandably so. Call it quits. Just, yeah, be done with your day. Move on. Look to the future. You're 14-7. You need 7 in a row to catch up. 8 to guarantee OT. The rest, all 9, you want to succeed. So, we'll see. 2-0 scoreline feels very much out of reach right now, Freddie. But the hot streak they had in the middle there could definitely rustle a few feathers.
They need to double their score lines, even match the ones of the academy team. This game being drawn out slightly. I don't see a world where MOUZ NXT win this, but I can see a world where Heat make it close. 3 players towards the B bomb site early for the CT side. They're going to try to take some heavy aggression. Krizen dodging those nades at first. His isn't going to do too much damage as Joker moves out of position as he throws it. Trades going back and forth over towards the B bomb side. They are going to favor the CT side though, and they're going to go away with the control. MOUZ NXT with a quick reaction over towards the A bomb side, but equally so a Heat stacking the majority of their forces there.
Oh, QQ spotted him. And, I mean, taking brackets control, not terrible here for MOUZ NXT, but again, like, kind of walking into the triple stack, it's going to be quite difficult to break in here. Sledge the one behind him, caught nearly with the one-way, but actually, a very nice kill to find, because now that might draw a few more of the troops towards A. They wanted to rotate, they have time to do so, but they think it's more appropriate to head face on. Hippo on the side, can't find a kill. MOUZ NXT walk in, block off the AWP with a Moto smoke. Now a 3v2, and now I'm inclined to believe the map's over.
They're actually going to go for the retake. I mean, I don't want them to, but they're hanging around. It's a good Molotov onto Jimfat. Yeah, it does hit him and does a lot of damage, but there was no one there to... I think... were they holding for him to peek out? But then he, like, I think the Molotov takes a second to spread to him, or if it was spread to him instantly, like he didn't peek straight away. So I think that kind of saved him.
I think that's definitely the case. 15 on the board. MOUZ NXT. What a brilliant display we've seen from them so far. It is an exceptional performance on map 2. The turnaround as well, like the mental fortitude to lose an OT on your pick in map 1, to then come on to Inferno and play a brilliant game of CS. Heat have been dumbfounded as to what's just hit them here in the second. Of course, we move on to a decider very shortly, Ancient, where it feels very much, obviously, do or die for both of the teams. But for Heat, probably going to feel a little bit of extra pressure because you did the hard part in taking Virgo, a map that felt unstoppable statistically for MOUZ NXT. And then you go onto your pick, which, you know, we were setting up this to be 3 maps all along. This should have been Heat second. This should have been them closing the show. Instead, MOUZ NXT saying, well, this game might just have to go on.
Yeah, even like, okay, so yeah, you look at the statistics of it, 100%, you're correct in what you're saying. The game itself even looked difficult. Like, Heat were on the back foot the whole time until the second half. And then on the second half, they did have quite a nice resurgence. But then even then, there were moments where, like, Heat forced it into overtime. Heat were the team that they won out the first few rounds at the beginning of the second half after winning. Actually, yeah, Heat won both pistol rounds and won the game in overtime. Did they really win?
Well, yes, but I know what you're getting at.
Yeah, it's the classic Vu take. You win 16-14, but winning both pistol rounds. Who actually won the game? But yeah, I guess on HLTV they won the game.
They do have green. So,
yeah, they won the game. So yeah, I don't know, Ryan. I think honestly, I think MOUZ NXT win Ancient out. I think I was saying this all along at the start. If it goes to a third map, I think the Academy team win it. I just didn't think this would be how it goes. Your mental must be in the bin after this for Heat.
Certainly. I know I certainly wouldn't be there 100% mentally. I think you need the break at this point. It says live on the screen. That means, yes, indeed, we go live again. Isn't that cool? Nice little feature. 23 is the round that we'll be checking into here. Now need 8 in a row to push us to overtime. Anything short of that. And, well, they're second best on their selection, and a decider will be imminent. It's Ancient, of course. You were saying for the beginning, MOUZ NXT get it done in 3. I said they were going to get it done in 2. And that definitely could have been the one, Freddie. You know, they had the option to take Vertigo, just didn't go their way in OT. Couldn't get the ball rolling. They're here on Inferno, looking unbelievably strong.
Yeah, 100%. Ooh, being flashed in. Nexius will potentially start their journey towards the end. 15-7. An opening pick onto Mr. Lucky. Not very fortunate in this round, is he? Fully blind. Nexius is the lucky one. 4 players all stacked out towards the top of Banana. Doesn't seem like they're going to quite commit. They're playing with the idea, but as they do fall away, they've split up the defense 2 and 2. This is really valuable for the T side. It just means that wherever they go, they're going to have pretty much the advantage. And I love how they force Maka away from middle there. They just mean that the rotations are going to be slower. And as the execute comes in, it's all going to be down to Gyoko and Hippo. 2 flashes and a smoke. The smoke will be launched towards the back of that bomb site, and it will mean that FAMAS can get one. However, I think that has to be all that she says. No, apparently Gyoko is going to just pop off on this round, and of course he does time and time again. But Yimfat neutralizing the lurk. The only issue is that they can't go back because the bomb's down in the middle of pool. 3v3. Everyone's here. It's going to be a bloodbath to decide the end of this map.
Nicely done, Gyoko and Maka closing up shop towards B. So clearly there is some life left in Heat, but right now it's a very, very long road ahead of them. Of course, now 7 in a row required, and there is another tech pause before we can begin. The classic, Freddie, the classic tech pauses, slowing us down even further. Already a good 20 minutes behind schedule. That will continue to go up. But it's all right, man. You know, we're enjoying the CS. It's been a fun BO3. And we knew this was going to be a banger from the beginning. We knew that this was going to be a close game. Obviously, Map 1 is as close as really you'd like it for either team. Inferno, of course, a little more one-sided. But the fact that we will see 3 maps, or at least we should be as of right now, kind of proves how, on paper, how even these teams can be.
A little second. I don't know if I've asked you this already before. Do you believe Source 2 is actually going to happen?
See, I've seen, like, who was it? There was, like, a tweet saying, oh, yeah, like, it's coming out March 24th, mark my words. They're all tweeting the Office gifs, and it's like, the amount of times I've seen people, like, try and snipe the code and be like, oh, yeah, it's coming out today, guys. Like, look at this massive push. And then everyone's like, yo, I'm going to go live because Source 2 is about to drop, and it just doesn't. I think I said this to Brandon on a broadcast recently. I was just like, I will believe it when I get the notification on my phone saying Counter-Strike Global Offensive has tweeted and it's announcing Source 2. That's when I'll believe it. Not when everyone with their tinfoil hats going, oh, look at this. Like, the numbers have changed a little bit and look, they're doing updates to the game. It's going to happen. I'm not a believer. Not believing in this round either, a Heat, as it's just Lucky and Gyoko left. I was blabbering on. Loads of kills, loads of misfortune. And unfortunately, loads of opportunities for MOUZ NXT to close it, and they want to get it done as quick as possible. It's Jocko left, 1v4. Now makes it 3. Nice spam onto QQ. Molly goes in deep, though, cutting him off from Arch. Christian trying to line up some spam. Jocko smoking the Molly. Any kills, he'll be asking. I think the answer, it'll be, okay, it will
Yes.
be some. Yes is the answer. Unfortunately, we checked out early of our last. 16-8, MOUZ NXT, they'll take the second map, and they will take us to our decider of Ancient.
Jocko, back-to-back 30 bombs. Ryan,
Yeah,
this man is playing some very good Counter-Strike right now. However, the rest of his teammate failed to pick up anywhere where he was leaving off on, and that does mean we are going to go to Ancient. Both of these teams trade each other's map picks, and now the third map is going to be on our hands. One team after the break will be eliminated, and one team is going to go through as the third last team going through the playoffs. We've got a lot of Counter-Strike on offer today. Every single game is going to be the same manner, but do not go too far because Ancient is going to be right around the corner.
very complicated job, but I love simple things so much. One move, one push. One touch. One love. One click. One XBet.
Tired of boring case openings? Do you always get only cheap skins? The Hellcase website has tons of options to upgrade your inventory. It's up to you to participate in giveaways, events, or compete with other players in opening cases. Hellcase, your world of expensive skins.
The hunger for glory feeds the desire. The courage to look for a challenge. To feed your ambitions. To reach for greatness. To become the champion of champions.
A classic 3BO3 day and a 3-mapper to kick things off. It's MOUZ NXT that tied things up on the heat pick of Inferno. And Mr. Renara, I think we're staring down the barrel of what could be a very intense third map. Both teams, I don't know, I want to say a little more even. MOUZ NXT have obviously had better percentages in terms of results, but Heat have been playing the better quality of teams. So we're valuing sort of MOUZ NXT's success rate over Heat's learning in the bigger game. So I don't quite know where we stand here. I do know one thing, and that is Ancient will be a decider, and unfortunately, the loser of this game will not be finding themselves a place in the playoffs.
Fortunately, though, the team who wins this will be. Both these teams is a theme that I've been talking about the whole time. They both went from 0 to 2 to now 2 to 2. A very nice resurgence, and you always got to kind of tip your hat at that and go, you know what, fair play. You've come back and you've taken each best of 3 as it comes. But yeah, I think you've nailed it on the head right there. Look, you've got MOUZ NXT, they're on a 3-win streak. Yeah, they beat Zeal 22. Who even are they? Like, who, you know, it's a bit of a different affair. And then you look at over at Heat and it's like, okay, they've won 2 games in a row. Sadly, both against the Brits, Viperians to the Breach. And then their most recent loss against Bad News Eagles, who they lost 16-14. So it's like, realistically, this the whole thing we've been talking about this whole game. 2 teams that are playing against 2 different level of opponents continuously. But I do still think MOUZ NXT are going to take this one through. I said at the very start of the game, I said it was going to be a 2-1 for MOUZ NXT. It's not quite gone the way I would have expected or anyone would have expected. I think that's very fair to say because of who would have expected an overtime on Vertigo to go the way of Heat and then domination on Inferno to go the way of MOUZ NXT. But yeah, I think you said it nicely. It's going to be closer, but I still do back the boys in the Academy team. What about you, Mr. Bernard?
I don't know. I think you have to, don't you, to go with the MOUZ NXT side, just because, again, like, especially after what they just did on Inferno, right? Like, how impossible that looked in the eyes of maybe a Heat fan. Like, you're probably expecting Heat to just run away with that game. They played, obviously, Inferno 19 times, well, 18 excluding that game, and they've won 13 of them. Like, the track record is unbelievable, and the fact that MOUZ NXT come out swinging as well as they do there, I don't know, man, kind of tells you the whole story, I think. But, of course, we head into a third and final map now where anything can happen. Heat, okay, sure, the percentages aren't amazing. Sure, the teams are a little less relevant. But experience in official environments definitely do go a long way. And these guys certainly do have a lot of it this year so far. crazy to think as well, of course, that that it's even to this stage. MOUZ and NXT realistically could have got it done in 2. Like, they could have just absolutely owned on map 1, map 2 as well. You know, it went their way, but that OT scenario could have gone the other way. Anyway, Fred, enough of me blabbering on. Let's watch a knife round. That's what we're here to do. We're here to watch some CS and to determine the sides here for Ancient. I think for both of us, we'd be agreeing this map pretty even, if not leaning a little bit on the T side. So we'll see how this one gets on and what side they select.
Yeah, I think it's honestly, I think it's really hard to differentiate between the two. And right now we've got MOUZ and NXT. Do you remember that old Sailor Kiss when he used to speed cast the knife rounds? I've always wanted to try and do one of them, like the rap of the knife round, but I just know I can't. Like, I just know I physically can't, but I really want to, and I'm like, I don't want to make a fool out of myself. But I didn't even see you won that actually. I was looking, but didn't take in what was happening.
I just saw people stab each other.
Yeah, I just kind of saw stabby. But yeah, I think we were talking about this last time we watched Ancient, right, a couple days ago. Pretty even affair. You tend to see especially now, if anything, an 8-7 half for the T side. But a big part of that is the changes to the map. The CT side pushed back a little bit. Mid control still favors the CT side if you are taking it heavily. But I think with how teams have been taking mid in the last 6 to 8 months, it is more of like a late round affair that favors the T side, and teams will be doing that. But the game is live. We're going to be going in for this one, Ryan. The third map, one team to be eliminated, one team to go through. An academy squad versus a team that used to poise themselves as the next French powerhouse. It's going to be a really interesting affair, and I'm really excited to see if the MOUZ NXT squad can make it to the playoffs. Something that they do struggle with, I think, actually quite a bit in the CCT tournaments. Just taking a look at them, yeah, they made playoffs in the last Northern Europe series, but apart from that, they've been, they're a closed qualifier team. They always come through the closed qualifiers, and here they're going to be looking to try and replicate the performance of the Astralis Talent squad, maybe even win the tournament like their other academy squad. But a pick already for HEET. The odds tied even Stevens, still favoring MOUZ NXT. And in this pistol around the T side, they are looking to redirect themselves towards mid, where Maka is still standing in cubby with his dual Berettas. He has no support, but I'm not sure if he's been identified. He hasn't. Oh, dearie me. That's one. That's two. I don't know how he's got the second, but that's the dual Berettas being showing in their worth. Last two players now for MOUZ NXT, bounding, stampeding their way out of the A bomb site. Exercise will be the first point of contact. He will nail the first. QQ will fall in the same manner as his teammate, and the French take the first round on Ancient, the third map.
Yeah, let's not jump to conclusions just yet. It's a pistol round at the end of the day. It doesn't mean everything, but that is a good start for HEET. 2 players stepping up to the top spot when required, and ultimately picking up the first is a good start. A tech pause before we head into the second.
Ooh,
Someone has vanished on the CT side. Yummy.
Gotta love a tech pause. Well, so we were seeing, this is actually this is the 5th pistol round of the game. MOUZ and NXT have won 1, and if you look at the score lines, it doesn't it doesn't look like they've only won 1 because of how close map 1 was and how they won map 2. So yeah, I think for some reason, these guys seem to be better when they don't win a pistol round. Let's see if that is going to be the case following through in this one. And I think the game should be getting underway very shortly. A round reset. Nope, not even needed.
I don't think he bought. I think he just DC'd straight after, which is why. Life's good. MOUZ NXT. Eco in the second. T side, obvious choice. Go for your old Glock buy, maybe a casual. Yeah, I was going to say a piece of U2 on version. Other than that, it is a straightforward dead investment here for NXT. Don't want anything to do with Deagles, half armor, all of that. Just straight Glocks, looking for a quick and painless way out of the second, so they can focus on the rifles that they're going to bring forward in the third.
And it's going to be a farm. Wow, that was clean. Lucky with 3. Joko was first of the game. Maka with another as well. Not too much to say about that one. The guns are out here, and MOUZ and NXT are going to try test their metal with the rifles.
There we go. Very nicely done. Obviously, Now looking into the third, MOUZ NXT have better weapons to put up. As you can see, majoritively speaking, I feel like the term bonus buy loses a lot of character in like the last couple of years, Freddie, just because it feels like everyone's.
I've been saying this.
Everyone seems to be going for like M4 upgrades, but this is a genuine bonus buy. Exercise the double, exercising his right to madness. 5 versus 3, instantaneous double towards middle. Nexius and Krisha looking for control, and Lucky cuts out any form of B presence as well. TV5, Jocko knows exactly what's up as well. This is a brilliant performance from HEET in the third round.
It's a very strong start. Start how you mean to go on. The phrase I live my life by.
Fair.
And HEET, even though they are losing 2 members here, I think it should... Ooh, 3 members. Hold on a second. Exercise on the flank could have just... I was going to say, he'd probably shut down this whole round. However, Yimfat shut down his life in round number 3. 2 versus 2, and Yimfat might just do it all by himself.
I like the idea of the mid-pressure. Now a 2v2. Bear in mind, this was a 2v5. Don't forget, Freddie. Exercise finding the double early doors. Lucky finding the third towards B. Since then, MOUZ NXT have been able to unravel this defense and strolling into a vacant A site. A retake required for HEET. 1 smoke and 1 kit between them. It's different from the both. In the meantime, I was going to say Yimfat and QQ both with smoke, so a little bit of utility to cut off the swings early doors. Bomb plant now in a net of safety. Time to get things going in the post plant. Jocko Maka, what have you got for us?
I actually favor the T side here. 1 kit on Maka. These 2 smoked, put 1 towards the bomb and 1 towards CT, but no, it's going to be QQ on low HP to deal the first damage. Yimfat has been spotted. Broky's such a hard position to clear out,
sick.
And that's exactly why. 2 versus 5. Let me just imprint that into your head. A 2 versus 5. And MOUZ NXT, they do it almost flawlessly. HEET, we were talking like, oh, that was actually a really nice round. That was a really nice start to the game. No. The Academy squad... Pick them when they're down. It's like, we're all comfortable, but no. They give them a bit of a rebuttal. And that's why this team is so strong, because they're so mechanically gifted, you never quite know when you're safe.
Comparatively speaking, by quite level. MOUZ NXT limited utility, only getting away with a single man, but the fact that they won that full buy when HEET were with a 3-man advantage kind of makes you feel like anything's manageable here in our third map. Yimfat makes some noise. Early doors in the smoke towards cave. Not happening just yet, though. It's still very dull, very stripped back round. I mean, ultimately for HEET, they can't exactly go for aggression. They've got 2 smokes and no kits between them for the entirety of this round. So no matter what they get up to, it's going to have to be a very, very bare-boned play. And you can already see MOUZ NXT starting to inch out some control towards middle, looking towards B. I'm guessing Nexius is just the lurk, the flank man to this whole strategy, and it has pulled, I don't know how, everyone over towards middle. B is just left with 1 man on site. Nexius finding that opening kill is good. Now, listen, doesn't matter if Maka gets the trade. It's the fact that it holds up the entirety of this B presence just for a few seconds longer, and Slen, he starts to walk out onto the site. Long smokes, he's safe. Bomb can cross, plant can happen. This is a 4v4, but Lucky through the smoke will find another. Christian gets gunned down from behind. How will MOUZ NXT lost this round?
I was gonna say, this CSGO is a game of seconds, a game of inches, a game of centimeters. And the fact that Maki gets held up for so long, you're completely correct. It gives MOUZ NXT that just little extra time to go forward. A double spam through the smoke gets 2 dings, and then just a collapse onto the B bomb site meant that MOUZ NXT fall to the hands of the French quite dominantly, keeping 4 alive. That's not too bad as a rebuttal after that last round where they failed to win the 5 versus 2.
Crazy. Round 5, HEET 3-1. Starting to prove maybe they can do it on the CT side. Hippo, lots of players in front of him, got to go for them all. And he swings, connects with 3 3/4. Slender Nexius, plus 2 alive. Latter is low. And unfortunately, he will find another, but 3 survive. HEET up to 4. Double AK still gets M4 on Maka. No warps, but doesn't matter. Off to a blistering start. 1 blip in the road on the MOUZ NXT full buy. Let's see if they can amend their problems here heading into the second full investment for the NXT boys.
Almost thought we were about to see Hippo get his gamely
Another
ace.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's actually been really slow. And I think this is kind of similar to what I saw him when I watched him before. Like he had that unreal first map and then dropped off across the series, and that's actually when they lost the series. But for now, we can put that all in the past. Good mid presence being taken by the T side. Been already a prominent theme of their gameplay. Nexius, I think he would have heard exercise. He should have anyways. He was making a bit of noise. That flashbang isn't going to blind him. Nexius wins out the duel just about, but he'll still take it. Chrism, 2 players in front of him towards Donut. He hears the AWPer, doesn't know about the rifle, and he'll still win that gun duel. Hippo, he's really struggling, isn't he, Ryan?
Not great. 5v3. Lucky might just walk into the mid play as well. Nexius setting the net up, ready to catch some unfortunate Heat players. Lucky, does he check it? He does, and in fact, he does connect. Really nicely done. Well, 4 versus 3. I guess man advantage still for MOUZ NXT, but not much given up right now to the CT side as to what the Academy side are looking to do. It is a B play. Smoke towards long, I think we'll give that all up and straight onto site. Yeah, the take's pretty good, but of course, post-plant scenarios, we just saw Heat in the previous round absolutely dismantle MOUZ NXT in a similar position.
How the post-plants have been set up. I think the issue of last round is the bomb hadn't gone down. This time it has, so that's going to be a bit of a difference maker. Sliden's first contact. Oh my god, Joker tears his head off. That should allude to the CT side. There's a second player in Cave. He's been dealt with. However, there's a third there now. As Yimfat falls, I don't think they're going to expect Chrism. Oh no, Maka knows about him. Maka's holding his mark. No way. How is that worked out? Heat with a 3 versus 4 retake onto the B bomb side. Make it look like child's play. And MOUZ NXT, they have not come out the gate swinging. Almost the opposite.
That's insane. Heat, definitely your favourites overall. 1xbet, don't blame them. Of course, you can use the link there, cct.gg/1xbet, or click the banner down below, of course, to get stuck into that one. 18 plus, gamble aware. You know, house always wins. Be responsible. All of that lovely stuff. No responsibility. Mid play is fast, and Hippo, a lot of damage. He does basically everything required of him, I think. You know, deals with the mid-rush quite nicely with the utility setup that him and Exercise throw out. And then ultimately, now that you put them down to 3, it's looking like a very doable round. Exercise did actually spot the man towards main. No information as to the bomb right now. So as you can see, he's currently sitting in CT and trying to play for the best of both worlds. But still, a lot of work to be done for the NXT boys. Wondering if the bomb plant's even possible. Slen's looking to go for it. And yeah, not denied. Heat are going to give it up and play for a retake.
And the retake will not... Well, actually, it will do worse. It's the post-plant, rather. Nexius, not a bad position, to be fair to him. Oh, the Molotov spreads. Oh, that's unfortunate. Got 9 bullets left. He's got 3 players to deal with. The smoke is actually favoring him so much. The time ticking down, but no, Maka eliminates him. That Molotov just about spreads.
Really nicely done. 6-1. Heat are storming ahead with this lead right now. Mr. Renard, don't think there's any stopping them right now. Looking very much on the back foot here. MOUZ NXT can't really do much. I mean, a couple of bomb plants here and there, but other than that, it's Rin really, really flat-footed, pretty one-sided, one-way traffic kind of scenario. If there is a star to be birthed, to be born here in this MOUZ NXT side. Talk about Christian having a slow game, Nexius as well. QQ's only on 3. Like, the kill difference is very even spread of kills, but I mean, compare that to, you know, 8-2 on Maka, 10-3 on Exercise, 7-1 on Lucky. Like, we don't have the same peaks in terms of individual success. It feels like MOUZ NXT playing a very even, very tradey game. We haven't seen anyone show up massively yet.
Oh, I love how he was burning in the Molotov and still, like, he still dedicated himself to going for that. I kind of respect it. But it's a good advantage for MOUZ NXT. Can they capitalize upon that? The one round they've won was almost impossible, and the ones they've lost have almost seemed impossible to them as well. It's crazy how they've had this T-side so far, but they trailed by 5, and it might just be put to 6 as that man advantage. Oh, okay, it is maintained. I was going to say, I really favor Jocko in that duel, I'm not going to lie. But Maka, swings out. Might go for seconds. But no, he's just going to smoke him off. And with, to be honest, not much time left on the clock. That smoke does just funnel them towards Exercise. And Exercise will do good for the first. Spam, Maka doesn't find anything. He's not committing to going to help his teammates. And they are just going to relinquish the B bomb site. But look at Hippo. Full utility, he comes in. He can just rain down upon them if it's even needed, because the flashbang and the spray. Oh, Hippo, Exercise, Maka working in conjunction. Gift Heat a 7th after losing the opening pick. Exercise got 13 frags.
That's in 8 rounds of CS. A brilliant performance from a single individual. So much work to be done for MOUZ NXT. We were talking about how even, if not T-sided, this map is now. The fact that in the first 8 they've only got 1 to show for it kind of paints you the picture of how dull it's been. Another one of those scenarios where MOUZ NXT quite honestly could have won that round. And it all just turns a bit flat-footed. Still chances, of course, in this game, but you're just running out of time on your T-side to make up for it. Not a pretty picture, but it's one that will just about manage. Of course, heading into number 9, Heat are up by 6, 7-1, Brazil style. As
Ooh, have we got any gem? We don't have any. Well, actually, we don't have any gems on the server, right?
No.
Because MOUZ NXT used to have it. They used to have JDC, who was German.
That's true. Now,
and they have
2 Danes, a Finn, a Hungarian, and a Belgium.
Belgian? What do you call it? You know, like
a Belgian,
it's like
with an
a
N,
Belgian, a Belgian. Yeah, it doesn't really roll off the tongue as well, but sure, look. Either way, MOUZ NXT, they really just want to get something going. Like, it's actually kind of ridiculous how one-sided this game's been, because we both agree like it's probably going to be quite close. And we've had so far a very first close game, a dominant second game, and we might see a dominant third game.
Jocko having a little jump spot, wanting to pick up things before the execute comes out. He swings through the long smoke. Lucky only one. Nexius and Slem both with kills. The spray from Exercise is fantastic. Finding both high HP players. It's just Nexius left. 4 points of health. 2 kills already in the round. A Molotov, that might just be enough. Forces him all the way out towards ramp. And with that, I think, I was going to say, this should be all wrapped up. Hippo holding ramp, spots him out, headshot, easy as you like. A bomb plant at least for MOUZ NXT, but it's another round conceded. It is going to be 8-1.
8-1. Looking pretty good for them. The guns are out though for MOUZ NXT. The bomb plant's going to give them a little better buy than last round. They had a weird one last round. It was looking really weak across the line. They have Slend on the AWP now, 4 AKs. Up against the AWP Maka, who's having a field day. Exercise 16-4. He had a really weak Inferno, and I was the first to call out his unsuccessful lurks, ineffective lurks rather. Both work. But yeah, he's doing a lot better this game. And Jocko just continuing on what he normally does. Only good for 1 there. It's a rare, only non-double frag for him. He's got back-to-back 30 bombs so far in the series. Can he make this one the triple 30 bomb?
Minute and 10 left on the clock. Heat exactly a man down, but certainly going to be a little more spread across the map now. Does leave MOUZ NXT in a pretty good position, Heat being so vulnerable. You can see Maka's holding long, completely disregarding Cave. Now recognizing this, pulls back up. More passive. Again, just an incredibly slow round. Still dictating whether they want to go A or B. Exercise misses a sitter. Now Maka, only defender. What have you got for us towards B, fella? Second man of Lucky was about to help, but he's dropped back. And that means AWP on AWP action. And Maka wins it out. Smoke start pouring on in. They've got nothing to cover off long, and they know that the AWP's there. This is difficult. Bomb picked up, 25 seconds. Flash goes in, information will be called that maybe they're hitting towards B, but HEET don't budge. In fact, look the other way, and they are so correct in predicting this. 17 seconds, the bomb just has to go, and Hippo, he'll be waiting. QQ gonna drop him. Do they expect the second man? Hippo, oh, you legend. It's discipline, it's smart, it's patience.
He gets away, oh my god.
And of course he dips out. Bomb can't get planted in
all this time.
No chance, I don't think there is. It's close, but they do actually get it. It killed through the smoke. QQ holds on. I don't know why Hippo sticks around. You thought there was enough time. I didn't think there was.
I think there was. I think there was. If I'm not mistaken, the bomb goes down just as he gets killed. So regardless, he would have been in a very difficult position. Very, very unfortunate for HEET there. It felt like Hippo had done it all, but the rest of his team full. I don't understand how both players walked through middle and died. It's actually the player in middle that gets the kill onto Hippo. So if he theoretically had been held up for a bit longer, it would have also then given Hippo more space to try and deny that second player. Very unfortunate, but MOUZ and NXT will take that one in their stride. Still, however, they've lost out the half so early on. They trail by 6 rounds. With 5 left in this half, they have to theoretically get every single one to have a hope in the second half. This is a good start, though. They'll be up against the Pistols and a Solidary AWP.
Round 11, 8-2. At least MOUZ NXT win a round out. But again, Freddie, you know, I like to be honest in situations like these, and that is, okay, sure, MOUZ NXT do pick it up. How close, A, was that round? B, is 8-2. It's not like that's a round defining, a round, or a game defining round, I should say. I'd say it's completely the opposite. I'd say, actually, this still gives HEET a really good platform to work with. 8 on the CT side. Most people would argue maybe a little bit under par. I'd say about even. You know, it's a good scoreline to have, and they could be on for 9. Hippo, this is a couple of shots. The AWP walks back in, and Maka picking up Nexius. 4v4 exercise, burn into the molly, and that's the audio cue given up to Christian. Maka waits with the AWP as he fights a second, turns back around, hungry for more as he peeks back in, but the man in Donut will take him down. 50 seconds left, 2 versus 3. Both players 27 points of health. And in an identical scenario, both players might just go down identically, as it's the Deagle that finds the first, but it's an AK to the body that closes them both out. 8-3, MOUZ and NXT. They do have their deficit of 5 now to work back from.
And that was a round where if they're going to win one, that has to be it. So at least they do that. Maka is going to pull out the AWP. I don't know why he's playing. Is he playing with the idea of maybe going rifle? Oh, but no, a small technical pause coming in.
Loving them.
It wouldn't be a game of CSGO without technical pauses, would it?
Never is, mate. Never is. Sorry,
what's the funniest one you've seen, if there is one?
Funniest one?
I've got 2 on the top of my head.
Well,
3.
It's not funny, but it's like funny in the context of like quite abnormal, and that is that it's I guess someone broke their monitor. I think like slammed the desk so hard, the monitor fell flat, actually like broke the screen. I don't know.
Oh wow.
Something like that.
That is like, that's like abnormal. I guess like funny probably wasn't the word. It was like more like crazy.
Yeah.
Or
Exactly,
amusing. Yeah, right now in this round, amusing not for HEET as Exercise. They're Celestial right now on Ancient. It's going to be the first to fall, showing some blood, showing that he is not immortal. Look at these rotations from HEET. The gamble stack is so correct. The read is sublime. Leaving B bomb site completely, going to help Hippo over towards the A bomb site, where there is going to be a split with Nexus through Candles and the rest through the A bomb site. Oh, that's a huge kill. Jocko, I don't know how he hasn't won that, because Nexius has now just opened up so much space. The other 2 players, though, still will progress over towards the A bomb site, and Hippo, he has to hold his flank. He has to hold for Nexius, and he'll hear him running, and the Belgium will fall. QQ left alone, falling to the hands of Lucky. 9-3. HEET just decimate that A offensive. The read was just perfect. It was amazing.
Yeah, I don't quite know what goes on in the minds of HEET to gamble stack there. Like, they didn't really pick up much information towards B, but I'm guessing they kill Yimfat towards Cave, and they're like, well, Does that mean that they're heading B? No, we're going to go towards A. I'm guessing that's where it was sort of drawn, like the lines. Either way, it was a brilliant stack. You know, the AWP double M4 setup, one in Donut as well to catch off the mid rotates. It's just exceptional. Cannot argue with it. And now, of course, there's a tactical timeout immediately afterwards. It's 9-3. Heat are 6 to the good now. And really, no signs of stopping them. They're playing a spectacular game of Ancient right now.
The money is so bad for MOUZ NXT as well. They're going to have Tech 9s for this round. So they're kind of, I mean, these are always a dangerous rounds. Let's call them a cringer in the industry. But I think for how Heat are playing, this is a prime round for them to get 10 and just leave it at that. Like, they can lose the last 2 rounds of the half. So what? They still lead by 5 going into second. And apparently they're unreal at pistol rounds, so that isn't going to be a worry for them.
This is what we like to call a rush round, Freddie, where it's Tech 9s, and so you're going to group up and go somewhere together quite quickly. It's nice to see that, you know, the utility's so heavy, they want to play maybe a little more disciplined in the early round, but the reason, even though it's called a rush round, is quite literally, as it said, at one point or another, you're just going to throw the smokes and absolutely send it into a site. So here you go. There's the
cheers, Ryan.
There's the rush round for you, straight out towards ramp. Yim Fat finding one, Jocko finding a double. Long not smoke, Freddy. Interesting call for MOUZ NXT. Eventually do get there. Tapping through. QQ takes mega damage. Slant drop an exercise. Hippo, he'll trade out elsewhere towards middle. Last 2 players should be picked up upon that it's towards B. You know, Slen found one with a Mac 10. The other guy's your planter, so surely that tells you everything you need to. But it is a 3v2. The push actually towards B, not bad for MOUZ NXT. They have resulted in a fair bit of financial damage.
Yeah, they can take this one. Financial damage, bomb down. However, that is going to be all she wrote. QQ on the back of the bomb site. 11 HP, and to be fair, he gets 1. Can't really ask much more of him there. But it's, as I said, double digits. I don't think he really care how it's done. The fact that they're winning by 7 and they've got 10 already before the second half has even started is, I think, for them, more than fine. It's really looking good. And they have enough money to buy into this easily. If they lose this, they're probably going to have they're probably going to concede 15 as well. But I said, I'm not too sure if that makes a difference. I personally don't think it is, especially when we were saying, if anything, it might be a T-sided map, and they're not looking great.
No, it's not. A lot of work still has to be done here, Freddie. There's no denying that. I think the fact that you've already found so much on your CT side, like Heat are in a real comfy position right now. They're not going to have to do much on the T side other than win a pistol. I don't think anything's over just yet. We still could see more of a bloodbath. An exercise is double. Certainly does attest to that even further. Really nicely done. Covering off the early push. And, well, bearing in mind his teammate gets dropped as well. Keep man advantage. Round 14. Such a possible round as well for MOUZ NXT to pick up the rest. And already they're going to have to fight from the leg down.
I do like this, though. The Dane pushing through the A-bomb site will be catching the AWP inside of the head, but it's going to hold his nerve. Ooh, he hears exercise. What does he do? Oh, I like it. He's just going to wait, bide his time. He hears exercise. Yeah, I love because he hears exercise, so he knows he can he knows he doesn't have to worry about CT. Waits for his team to come in, gets the frag, and the bomb site now is in the hands of MOUZ NXT. Heat. They don't have that advantage anymore. Retake might just come head on with Slend. Okay, this is a good start for the Academy squad. And I think if I'm the French, I just save.
Yeah, I don't think there's any denying that, is there? Like, just a spectacular round all in all.
I like that. That was good.
Yeah. Really well played from MOUZ NXT.
Lucky.
Discipline. You know, you see the site player, you get yourself the information, you call your team over, make all the noise. It doesn't matter, you know, like, even if they call the rotate, they're going to be surprised when I shoot this guy on site in the back of the head. You are chilling. Just get to the site, get the bomb down. Life's going to be brilliant. So, yeah, really well played. Really, really well played. Thoroughly, thoroughly impressed there. And here are a couple of clicks, if I'm not mistaken, in the chat, Freddie. That was probably like, how the hell did you get there? And he's going, haha, thank you. I guess. Anyway. 10-4, last of the half. Let's see it, guys. Let's see it. Heat 11-4 or 10-5. Kind of ran out of money, so it's going to have to be done with SMGs, if anything.
I've seen worse weaponry do more damage, especially when HEET are on fire.
Right. Definitely doable. Early molly towards ramp, 2 of them in fact, and
what a flash.
mid. How on earth did Nexius not get a thing? Punished massively. 5 versus 4, CT side advantage, and considering on the low buy, that's the last thing on the list that MOUZ NXT wanted to give up.
Maka as well, getting another towards mid. I feel bad for Nexius there. The flash was so good, but he get a little bit discombobulated, a bit confused by the amount of players that are in front of him. I can sympathize. I've been there many a time. Sure, you have as well, Ryan. It's a very common theme in CS, right? When where you peek out and you see like one player in the sky, you see one player dancing around blind. You're like, who do I shoot at? Where do I shoot him? Unfortunately, you just can't be making this mistake at that level. And now HEET. It feels like after that first kill, that's when they're in the even Stevens. You've got such a low buy that you have to get those opening kills to even give yourself back to an even. But now they've got the advantage with a 5 versus 3, really strong positions across the map, and as well with MOUZ NXT not completely conjoined. They've got Slend over on the B-bomb site. He's taking some information potentially. And the other 2 towards A, I would have much preferred, Ryan, if they just grouped up towards one site.
I think that's got to be the call, innit?
What?
I don't know what the shout is here. Like, you got 18 seconds left, gents. Like, we've got to get a move on. You've got to do something. And the fact that you're so split with such little time tells you round's done. M4 finds one. Bomb drop. No chance at a plant now, surely. Half going to be completed, and HEET take 11 by means of elimination. They're 5 away from eliminating MOUZ NXT. Will they be able to secure it? We'll find out in just a mo. A brief break, but a lot to be discussed for MOUZ NXT. 5 rounds away from being dropped from this entire tournament. It's not an ideal situation to be in, but it's one they're going to have to learn to live in. As you can see, those odds over at 1xBet really siding with the HEET boys, and I do not blame them one bit because this is looking nigh on impossible. It all starts with a pistol round here, though, Freddie, and that's exactly where we pick up in the second half.
So saying MOUZ NXT, this would be their 6th. Sorry, they've won 1 pistol round over the last 5. And it's looking like it might just be a 5th loss because they've gambled towards the A-bomb site. 3 players in Donut, 1 towards CT. And then Nexius playing full retake over towards short. He's going to get smoked out. The rotations have to come in. However, Exercise is going to be able to spot them out. And as the bomb goes down, I'm very scared for them in middle because Exercise 20 and 8. 1 here is good enough, but no, he gets caught on timing. He keeps on checking his rear, and that's when the Finn will execute him. Lucky with dual breaths of his own in synchronization with Hippo, will get 1. However, 3 versus 3, it's still winnable for the Academy team, but the raid boss on the bomb side, oh, the Tech 9, the Rec 9 as one would call it, living up to its name, and Krisen with 4 kills has to win a 1 versus 2 to keep them in this one, but they don't. MOUZ NXT just really can't get the ball rolling on the pistol rounds, can they here, Ryan?
And there you go, 12-4, not looking great for them. HEET are 4 away from completing the comeback and making things happen. It was a good start to the BO3. MOUZ NXT definitely could have taken it in 2. Now, the fact that HEET have, again, flipped the result, turning it back on its head, very, very worrying. And ultimately now, I think it's safe to say we are looking at a very, very competent HEET Anubis. Anubis? Ancient. Not Anubis. Either way, Freddie, point still stands. Like, this is a tremendous spot to be in for the French side. Didn't expect them to come out of the gate swinging this hard. I don't think MOUZ NXT did either. Really slow stuff on their beginning half, and I think they're learning to pay the price for it now.
Very slow here from HEET. So reminiscent of what they were doing on the Inferno T side. Such a slow style of CS. Almost waiting for the other team to make the mistake, and unfortunately for them, that mistake never came out on Inferno. Ancient, though, it seemed like it will, because of what's been happening so far. A missed donut smoke, I'm pretty sure, actually. But it doesn't matter, because they are going towards the B bomb site, and the aggression's going to get the first, but it will be shut down momentarily. There is a rotation from Prison. The 5-7 up close does catch them off guard. Almost gets the second, but lucky with 1 HP. Graced by God there for a second. Does just keep it in their favor. And yes, Jimfat all by himself. Okay, we'll get one with the SMG. Weirdly winnable, but it's unconfirmed damage he doesn't know about. He might actually have to go for this because of the dire position MOUZ and NXT are in, or he might just save one of the rifles. No, he's going for this. No kit, 72 HP, no head armor. Doesn't matter, up against 2 AKs. An MP9 in hand, making a lot of noise, trying to find the enemies. Lucky spotted him out. Bomb gets tapped. That kit's really going to come into play here. The fact he doesn't have one. Lucky playing around the site, and it will just be Hippo to execute the young Finn, the superstar, the talent, the up-and-coming man. Won't be able to prove himself so far in this map. Trailing by 9. This is looking really dire now you're on the USPs.
Yeah, really unideal scenario to be in. Going to be hard to cover up this bad beginning from this spot. Now, 5 USPs, as you say. I mean, some teams might even just consider a force buy just to try and do something to get back into this game. They're obviously going to play the more disciplined approach. But again, Freddy, it's a finite amount of time to see if they can actually do it or not. Ultimately, this position, a very tough one to get back into. I think, you know, the side of HEET will definitely teach it to you 10 times over, just how difficult it can be. Bomb plant to come out. And, well, 14-4, I think, was imminent just from the investment of MOUZ NXT. They're looking for any damage at this point. Just make it look a little more recoverable. And Maka profiting massively off the downfall here of an eco.
Yeah, it's an extra $1,200 into his back pocket. That's what we were saying. I was talking about this on Vertigo. I find that to be the best case scenario when you're on a Mac 10 and around like that, getting kills and dying. So it means you don't have to play with the SMG and the gun round, but you have the extra money and you can buy into the AK and not have to worry too much about the econ. He even gets an AWP into his hands, so happy days. He doesn't even drop over an AK. Yeah, he just minted 10 rounds in the lead, 2 more left to go through to playoffs. A very weird series, and our predictions couldn't have been any more wrong.
Yeah, a really funky turn of events, but you can't sit here and say that they didn't deserve it. They have looked unreal, haven't they? By the MOUZ NXT, just second best, especially after the performance Jocko's had this series, by the way. Heading into map 3, right, I'll just throw this one out there. He is plus 25, 63 and 38. First 2 maps only. And, I mean, you know, you look to the left-hand side, and I'm being sure he's not the top scorer, but he's having a great game as well. Second or third fragging. Fourth frag, bottom fragging. Never mind. I completely missed it. I thought Maka was on 12, not 21, and I thought, well, he's having a decent game, but no, fair enough. I mean, can't hate it, can you? HEET are 2 away from victory. It doesn't matter who's top and who's bottom. They're having an exceptional game.
I love how you went through the whole list. You got there eventually.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of Maka, though, he does get the opening frag. He's having a very good game. Much better than 12. Almost double that, actually. And, Jim Fat. That's really unfortunate. Like, he had to get that, I feel like. He does get traded eventually, but Crizzen does pick up the AWP of his dead teammate. 12 HP. Bogdan's Lord does dictate that he should be holding it. Missed long smoke, though. There's a big gap in that. And let's see if the Dane tries to capitalize upon it. They do have the advantage, MOUZ NXT, but they don't have the HP advantage. QQ and Crizzen with a culmination of 33 HP. The AWP can't quite capitalize it on the same way as the rifle can. It has to be lucky. I think that's going to be the Stormer here. Molotov as well in his hand. He's going to try and save that for as late as possible, but Maka deals with the 1 high HP player. Now, that 33 HP between 2 players has to make it work. Being spotted out, and the AWP will just do it fine anyways. Crizzen, he will reveal himself, but only so Lucky can decapitate him. 15-4. Marvelous from the French. Such a clean and impressive Ancient, not missing a beat.
Map at series point. MOUZ and NXT go for whatever they can. Double M4, double MP9, one FAMAS in the middle. Try and make things work out good for them. Try and make it look a little less embarrassing. But map 3 has just been HEET's game through and through. I don't think there's any arguing with that. Well, round 20. Kind of feel like it's going to be the last. Maka lining up the donut smoke. Flashing towards middle. Hippo, go fetch, my friend. See if you can get any information for us. Yeah, of course, man. Go fetch. Like, go with the flash, I guess, is like the more polite.
That's actually a great saying. Cause he's like, you know, you could play on the whole fact he's called Hippo.
Hippos don't play fetch, mate. What sort of loopy land do you live in where hippos play fetch?
You never know. You could have a really well-trained, dangerous animal. However, speaking about danger, Mac is in a 1 versus 3. If anything, the AWP is going to be yet again. I mean, he is dead. He's going to the one player with HP. He duels with the P250. So yeah, unfortunately, the Hippo couldn't play fetch this round, and MOUZ and NXT will find a 5th. You know, a fun fact about Hippo: they actually create their own sunscreen because they've got really thin skin, and it's like they've actually got naturally pink skin, and they have to survive. They have to be in the water during the day, or they get really badly sunburned, and they excrete their natural sun cream by themselves. That's a cool little fact for you.
Don't know what I'm going to do with that information, but I appreciate you sharing, Freddie.
Do you want some more facts? Me and Hayes. Hayes knows a lot about hippos. It's weird. He knows a lot about hippos. They're actually the animals that kill the most human beings, and they're also like one of the fastest animals in the world. Oh no, yeah, they can run up to like 40 miles per hour.
Fair enough. Maka and Hippo finding opening kills. It's Slen that fades out the frag. Jocko through the smoke. Yeah, just about it, isn't it? Nexius will find Maka. Goes running through the molly. Doesn't matter because they know the B site has got maximum 1 player on it now. Nexius going to find Lucky. Exercise trades out. 1v2. Slen's coming from middle, but I think he realizes choices are slim. It's through cave or through long, and with an AWP, both places not the most ideal. Knows he's got so many close angles to clear. Exactly that. He's going to switch it to no scope mode. For the best, and unfortunately for him, it's not going to happen. 16-5 HEET. I mean, definitely much could have lost 2-0, but the fact that they persevere as well as they do, an overtime win on Vertigo and a absolute landslide on Ancient means they go through to the playoff stage. It's 2-1 over MOUZ and NXT, and the Academy boys will have to try again in the next. But West Europe has our 6th team through, of course, to that playoff stage. Freddie's still much more Counter-Strike to go. Listen, we're a little bit behind. I'd love to have a little chat about how that game went, but I think the people at home probably want to watch the next game. It's AGO versus the Nexus boys in just a few moments. We'll be back with that in just a few minutes' time.